All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan. And the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Hello. Happy 6 a.m. Happy hump day, everybody.
What is happening?
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there, man.
Halfway done.
Well, in a moment of the universe laughing at me yesterday, bragging about not spilling anything on my white tee, I spilled a giant drop of coffee right in the middle of my shirt on the way to work today.
Did you really?
Yeah, just right there. Hard to avoid it. Let's grab some wet wipes. Let's clean this thing off. We have no hand dryers in the bathroom. That's the proper way to dry it. I don't really have that ability, so I'm like scrub and trying to get it out.
You got to let it kind of naturally just dry,
Thankfully, it's warm in here, so I think by the time we get to 6:45, the stain on the middle of my shirt will hopefully be gone. It's one of my favorite polos, so, let's pray for this T-shirt today. Will we make it?
Does coffee really stain? I feel like if you wash coffee, it comes right out.
I'm hoping it does. I don't know if it depends on the color of the shirt. Like white might be a little more difficult. Maybe pink is a little bit easier to get out.
This is more of a pink salmonish
it's more
kind
of a
color,
pink
right?
I got a pink salmon thing going on over here right now.
I think just looking from here across from you, because of the shadows and the way the mic is, you can't see it.
Hey, look at that. All right, good. We're 1 for 1 then. Right out of the gate.
Totally fine, totally normal.
Like if it's a little bit lower on the shirt, nobody will even notice it. It just happens to be right in between the chest right here, right in between my nips. That's not a good thing.
Right in the chest meat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Off to a rip-roaring start.
Oh, just a delightful beginning to the day.
So there's been a development in my life where I'm starting to, is there going to be a crossover event?
Oh, okay.
An event horizon.
We have a synergy event going on here?
There's something brewing, it feels like, and it hasn't been talked about, and I've been holding it.
What's in the winds? What do you hear? What's the whistle in the wind?
So this weekend I got a text from a friend, and they were like, hey, my kid is playing with your niece in a sport. And I was like, oh,
okay.
That's random. That's cool. And I'm like, yeah. And my son has a play date with your nephew. And I was like,
what?
Oh, all right.
We're making friends?
And now I am talking to your sister-in-law, and we're having real conversation. And I'm like, what's happening here?
This is a little weird. I don't know if you want this close to my family. I don't know who the person is.
I'm more wondering if at some point I'm going to show up to a family barbecue. So I live right next to one sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Like we're adjacent neighborhoods. Like we walk to each other's houses.
Right.
I have another sister-in-law who lives in the Hillsborough area.
Okay, that's a little bit deep from you.
It's a little deeper, but we don't see him as much. But,
right.
We hang out a lot. And I'm just wondering, like, what event am I going to show up to and the Harrahs are there?
Oh, we got a Harrah and Sprague crossover family event?
I'm starting to wonder a little bit now because I was texting yesterday and I'm like, oh my God, is the brand man going to be at a random family barbecue?
You're going to walk up to a soccer game, there's the brand man. Hey, Brandon, what are you doing?
Well, I've seen him at a basketball game before, him and his family.
Hanging out watching their kids.
Yeah, because his son and my nephew are roughly the same age. They play in the same stuff.
Right. He's out in the Hillsborough, Beaverton area. He's out there.
But now I have found out that his daughter is also doing the same soccer stuff as my niece. And it's just kind of been throwing me through a loop.
I don't know if I want my worlds colliding here. You want work to be work and you want personal life to be personal life.
I'm not anti-Harrahs.
No, the Harrahs are wonderful people.
His wife runs on my Hood to Coast team.
Yeah.
He showed up at my house last year at like 4 a.m. to drop her and her stuff off. And I was like,
dude, what are you doing in my house,
What's
man?
up, dude?
Hey.
What are you doing here? I don't know why I didn't put that together.
Good morning.
It just throws me off. It throws me off. It's like when you run into like a high school classmate you hadn't seen in 10 years.
Yeah.
And you turn around and you're like,
hey.
what the Hey, you're alive.
Hey, man.
How about that?
You're still here. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I didn't know you were still ticking, man.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry the birthday wishes stopped rolling in about 9 years ago. I apologize about that, but, hey, good to see you.
So what have you been up to? Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
God, is there anything worse than those conversations? I avoid those like the plague.
There's somebody from my high school.
Because then you have to have the same conversation with everybody in that, department because you just haven't seen them in so long.
So there's somebody from my high school that works at a store that I quite frequent, but I think because of how low my hat sits sometimes, they can't tell who I am.
Smart move. Keep the bill low.
Random white guy walking around.
Got a white tee on. You're blending in, man.
Exactly.
Out in Damascus, you're a dime a dozen out there.
Camouflage, man. Camouflage. And I'm like, I'm never going to initiate a conversation.
No, you never do.
And if it ever does happen, I'll go, oh,
I don't recognize you.
How about that? Yeah.
Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, how you doing?
How you been, man?
It's one of those instances, yeah.
I have that. There's a place in our neighborhood where there's somebody who is a server at a restaurant who I don't remember the name, but I know the person.
Oh, no.
It's one of those, and I'm
worst.
like, God, I'm going to go in there one time, and they're going to want
Yeah.
to talk to me, and I'm not going to know what to say.
You think they'd recognize you and know your name?
I've been in there once, and they didn't serve me directly. It was more of like I'm sitting and I'm witnessing them walk around, and I'm like, I know that face. I know that person. I just can't put two and two together
Why
of
don't
who
you
it
sneak
is.
a little photo and text the group chat?
Yeah, anybody remember
Anybody
the
know this
person?
person?
And then it's even more obvious. I'm leaning over the edge of my. Why are you taking a picture? Oh, hey, Andy, how are you? Hey, you. Hey, man.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing? My brother-in-law, we were playing golf this weekend. He had that. We were making the turn at East Moreland, and a guy came, how you doing? I started yelling his name out. He turns around. He's like, hey. They had like a 5-minute conversation, and we're walking up the fairway. He's like, I have no idea who that was. I'm like, hey, you played it pretty good for me. I was adjacent to the conversation. I wouldn't have been able to put that together.
Was it an older guy or like a younger? Because
Relatively,
baseball.
relatively same age, not an older guy.
Okay,
And he was like, he's asking about my family, and I don't. I got nothing.
That's a bad feeling.
It's a really bad feeling.
Not a good feeling.
Not comfortable whatsoever.
No, it's a very uncomfortable thing that we do. Like I've been coaching at this new program, this new club, and I say hi to all the coaches every time I get there. I have a running gimmick where I drop a nickname of an NBA player and I see if they can guess who it is.
Ooh, look at you.
It's
Great
like-
icebreaker game.
Yeah, like-
you are a coach, aren't you?
I am a coach. Yeah. Hey, who's the Haitian sensation, huh? Can you name that player? And they'll never name it,
No, they won't get it.
But I'll say what's up to all the coaches, and I will be constantly meeting other coaches because at this club, there's like a pretty big wave of coaches.
It's a big circle.
And almost every time, I'm always like, I'm Brandon. I'm Brandon. I'm Brandon. Because I'm not going to assume you remembered my name.
No.
You're here a couple times a week.
That's actually that's a pro move on your part.
That's what because half the time
Pro
I'm like,
move.
hey, what is your name? I just
Yes.
be honest about it. Like, your name? Oh, that's right. Okay, all right.
I wish I had that in my DNA. I can't do that. I
You
don't know
just
why.
fake it till you make it, huh?
I have neighbors who I've met and I still don't remember their name, and they'll talk to
Really?
me, and I'm like, at this point, it's like gone too far where I can't ask now.
The name thing's tough.
You got to get it out of the way quickly. If you do it, that's the proper way to do it. But if you don't do it the first couple of times, now there's been like conversations on a semi-weekly basis for months. I can't rip that Band-Aid off.
So one of my neighbors across the street I've talked to more, I ended up breaking his rototiller like when I first moved in. That was a great, like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. I broke your rototiller. He's like, don't worry about it, man. I bought it for $50 at a garage sale. I was like, well, that still doesn't make me feel great.
No, I still feel bad.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm 94% sure he doesn't remember my name.
Yeah, so
whereas he's got a very common
He's got an easy one to remember.
Caucasian name.
Sure.
It's 4 letters. It's
Simple.
boom. There it
Yeah.
is.
Nice and easy,
Norm,
to the point.
there you go.
Right.
It's like one of those where I'm pretty sure
He's pulling the dirt on you. He's doing the,
Yeah.
he knows you, but
Yeah, we
hey,
talk.
What's
He's
up, man?
hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
But like I'm 94% sure he doesn't know my name, and I don't want to be like,
Do you know my name?
I'm Brandon,
By the way, just in case you
because
forgot.
we've already met.
Yes, you've had multiple conversations.
And I don't think he wants to admit that he doesn't remember my name.
That ship has sailed. You're just going to be the neighbor guy for the rest of the time.
I think, unfortunately,
Someday
I am.
you'll move out of the neighborhood. Maybe you'll have the Stones and the Coheners to walk up to you. As a fellow guy who does the same thing as your neighbor, maybe the day you move out, hey, by the way, what's your name again? I'm never going to see you again. So.
Oh, that guy and his wife, they're moving out.
They're wonderful people. I see him across. He broke my rototiller. Other than that, he's a delightful guy. I just couldn't tell you his name to save my life, man. It is funny, though, when you get the workplace and the home life, the bubbles colliding is kind of a weird thing.
Well, have you ever had it?
Not in like modern life, no. But I used to run into I remember back in the early days of the station, I'd bump into Dusty Hara out about on the town from time to time, and it was always weird.
How?
Just at a
He
bar.
lives in Hillsborough.
I know we would frequent similar bars occasionally.
From the
into
east side?
I'd run into him on 21st, back in my going out days. Be
Really?
Like, hey, Dusty, what's up, dude?
How about that?
It was always weird though. It always took you back. You do a double glance of am I at work right now? Is that the fan man?
There's an odd thing for me personally. It's not that I don't like Dusty or any other
coworker.
No.
It just
We
throws
love
you
them all.
off. It,
Yes.
you're stunned for a minute, like, oh, I'm seeing you in the wild.
Yes. If you went out to coffee and our boss man, Ryan Cooley, walked into the coffee shop, you'd be like, dude, what?
Like on a super random Saturday.
What, Cooley? What's
Like,
up?
what are you doing here?
Hey, what's up, man?
But yeah, there's an element of like, am I going to walk into a barbecue and his entire family's just going to be there?
Yeah, this could be a new thing. Maybe the Spragues and the Harris are going to hit it off. You guys are taking like family vacations now. All of a sudden, you guys are in Mexico together for a week.
Well, the weird thing, I haven't talked to him about this. This is like,
well, this is how we deal with our problems.
You know.
We air them out on the air before
Yeah.
we go face to face.
I tend to lean
Not that this
way.
is a problem. It's
No.
just it's a fun bit.
It's just very unusual. Like his wife was talking to my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And she was telling me how, like, she's given her all these compliments. And I'm like, I've known her 18 years. She's never once paid me one compliment.
Not
so
a
you're
single
already
time.
ahead of the game for me.
You're already higher on the bingo
You're
card.
already higher on the old chart than me.
Hey, Brandon, looking good. Not even one of those? No? Hey, nice haircut.
You know,
I like your plain white tee.
I'll say something like, hey, how you been? And she'll go, why are you wearing that shirt? And I'll just be like,
all right, I'm going to go sit down.
over here,
I'm gonna
to
go.
the side here. I'll have a conversation. She'll ask me something, and I'll go, oh, well, and then I'll start explaining what she asked me about, and I will realize a minute and a half her ADHD has fully kicked in, and
Yeah.
she is doing something else.
She's not
and
paying
I go,
attention.
Hey,
Hey,
She's
remember?
like, what?
Remember talking over here?
And so I had to warn his wife of like, hey, if you're ever talking to her and she just stares into the abyss,
Kind of trails off mentally.
she is ignoring you.
Yeah.
That's a condition.
That's going in one ear and out the other.
kicking in.
Nothing is registering about what you're saying right
She's
now.
probably editing photographs now, and she's forgotten about your conversation that's happening. So don't take that personal. That's just kind of who she is now. But I need to I know that this is happening between other coworkers in the building, and I don't know how much it's talked about. But Joe Fisher and Jason Zukanik,
Yeah, their bubbles are
quite frequently.
Yeah.
They're on
That's
party
bigger
boats.
than bubbles. That's like
Dude, they go on vacations together.
They're essentially brothers at this point.
They kind of are, which makes Joe stealing Sook's yogurt
even better.
really funny because, I'm not going to act like I wouldn't do that once in a while with my brother-in-law.
Sure. Hey, come on, I'm taking your yogurt.
Come on,
dude.
man, I want a Greek yogurt. What do you want from me?
It's a Greek yogurt. It's $1. You'll be okay.
But it's so they're used to it,
Yes.
but also I still think there's a lot of elements where Zukanik's like, God, I got to see him again.
That feels like a very one-way. Like Joe's probably more like, hey, it's cool hanging out with Sook again. What's up, buddy? Where are we gonna go? And
Oh, you
Sook-
don't think Sook likes hanging out
I think
with
it's
Joe?
the opposite of like Sook. Like, oh God, Fisher again. What are we doing? I can't get rid of this guy. Although to be fair, a lot of that is on Zukanik because I believe he was the one that set him and his gal up. Was he not?
No, well, kind of.
Or his
From what
gal
I've
set
gathered,
the gal set. Yeah,
I think it's because they're only doing that because their girlfriends are
their
best
girlfriends
friends.
are very close together.
And so I think the girlfriend was like, my friend is single and she's been nothing but with dirtbags.
Yeah.
And I think Zukanik just threw an idea of like, hey, have a nice date with a nice guy.
I got this guy I work with. His
He's
name's
super
Joe.
horny. He's super young. He's ready to go. And I think it clicked, and now that's become a full-blown relationship.
This is why you got to be careful who you set up people with blind dates on because you never know what could transpire.
Do you want to hang out with that person?
You never know what the future's going to look like. And if the gals are very close friends, you know what you're going to be in store for? A lot of time with that person.
Well, and you know that
this
his
is the way it works.
Zukanik's girlfriend, Japanese.
Yes.
The gal's friend, also Asian.
Yes.
It's funny now my algorithm is showing me Joe Fisher making all these Asian cuisines. Teriyaki ribs with egg rolls.
He's embracing the culture.
And I'm like, hey, he's learning how to cook.
It's what you got to do. It's a big step when you're trying to mix cultures together like that. You
That's
got to
all you can
embrace
ask
it,
for,
man. You
man.
got to start cooking the food.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing. You started making pho. You're a big pho guy.
I can make fun now.
Did you know pho before you met the wife?
No.
I never heard of pho 10, 15 years ago.
You made fun of me for eating pho 10, 15 years ago.
What is pho? I've never heard of this thing before.
You just started laughing. Beef noodle soup.
What?
I'm like, I mean, it's pretty good, man.
Tried. I still have never had pho.
That's shocking to me.
I know it is pretty shocking.
There's
It's
a
not
lot
out of
of-
like an avoidance. It's not I don't want to try it. I've just never been. I've never been to a pho restaurant. Maybe I have, and I just haven't looked at it on the menu. Could be on me.
I'm going to speak for the Vietnamese culture here.
Go ahead. You defend your culture.
It's not. Well, it's not mine.
Well, it's
I'm
kind
married
of
into it.
It's an inherited culture.
It's not that there's not good pho restaurants.
Yes.
It's that they're few and far between. So
nothing in the neighborhood that serves pho that I am aware of that I have been to.
You could go to a pho restaurant.
Yeah.
And I would tell you there's about a 65% chance it's not going to be good.
Okay.
It's not going to be something that you go, oh, I got to eat that again.
Is it because the whites are making it?
No,
just hard to duplicate.
I think it's really hard to make in big batches.
That makes sense.
And so the broth might not be as flavorful.
Yeah.
You don't even know what meat you want to get. Do you want round eye? Do you want brisket? Do you like Vietnamese meatball?
It sounds good. What's in a Vietnamese meatball?
I don't even know. I don't eat it.
What goes into those things?
Do you like hoisin sauce?
I do like a little hoisin.
Okay.
I'll do a little hoisin.
You like sriracha, I know that.
I'm a big sriracha guy. I'm
So,
a white.
you
Whites
like
love
cilantro
sriracha.
and onion?
Who doesn't love cilantro and onion?
So you could make it a good bowl, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's a 65% chance that restaurant you go to is going to suck at making it.
Yeah, we got a Japanese restaurant in the neighborhood. No, obviously no pho. Different class. We do have a dumpling place that opened up. I was a little disappointed by that because I'm not the biggest dumpling guy.
Yeah.
And it was like prime location of like, I wish something else went in there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I haven't tried it yet, so maybe it's good. Maybe the dumplings are solid. I just have like all the things that I could eat of that persuasion. Dumplings are pretty low down on my list. If it was a pho place, I would have been in there by now.
Well,
I got to pop my pho cherry. At some point, I will.
your Japanese spot's pretty popular.
Japanese spot's huge. Everybody's always there.
Small, there's a line.
Always lines.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a delightful place.
Yeah.
But they don't serve any pho. Different cultures.
So I think, like you and I, we golf once in a while.
Yeah.
We've hung out a couple times. But that's kind of it.
That's it.
And it's not like I'm an anti-you.
No.
I just see you a lot. We talk a lot. We
It's a
do
lot of
this
time.
together.
It's a lot of time. All right. We need breaks.
I don't know how I'm going to feel if I'm seeing
We need
Dusty
breathers.
every other weekend because he's
Yeah.
at a family event.
All of a sudden, he's showing up at your house, knocking on your door. What's up, Sprague? We're here for the barbecue.
That would be a really far drive for
What are
him.
you doing in my house, man? This is a little weird.
Hey, man.
Hey, you want to come in?
Also feels odd to talk to his wife on a text message and he's not on it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. I guess this is just happening. We're all just hanging out mingling.
This is it. There's
This
no
is
avoiding it. Your worlds have collided.
That's all we could do.
There's work Jerry and home Jerry, and they have now collided. One listener, by the way, saying you got to go to your the neighbor's house that you don't know. This is for me, and steal their mail to get the name. I don't think I'm going to pull that one off.
Boy, I would think
That's
with
a
ring
ballsy
cams
move.
nowadays, you're going to get caught.
Ballsy move.
Like, what did you take my mail for?
I could
You're like,
probably
"Why?"
ask the mailman because the mailman would know. Like he could give me the lowdown on it, but I'd be worried that he might spill the beans to the neighbors that I don't know their names.
It'd be really funny if it was only Mr. and Mrs. stuff on the envelope.
Just
There
a
was no
last
first
name. Now they're on a last name basis with me now. Now my neighbors are calling me Johnson around the name. Hey, Johnson. What? Huh? Me? You talking to me?
I think because of the way that Thunder Laker game ended up going, I was texting yesterday and then this topic came up and I started thinking about this more than I cared about the ending of that blowout.
Well, you didn't miss much, you know.
It was close for a while.
And they hung around for about three quarters. SGA flopped his way into halftime. Every time he drove to the hoop, it wasn't even an intent to score.
How uncomfortable are Laker fans going to be when they give Austin Reeves $200 million?
Pretty uncomfortable. Pretty.
Not that he's not going to be good again in the series. It's just
No,
it's remarkably
he's coming off an
bad.
injury and he's not making shots right now.
But it's bad.
It's not good.
He's not even a top 5 player on the current roster.
I think we had it was like the lowest field goal percentage for a game in Laker playoff history. Minimum a certain number of attempts, like 15 attempts.
I've lost faith that he's going to get it back. That's
was
what
really
it's
bad.
done to me.
He's got the shooting yips at this point.
He just looks like somebody with no confidence. He's not overly athletic. It's just like, all right, well, I guess LeBron's is going to do this by himself at 41.
There was a question of LeBron after the game. Hey, so what's wrong with your guys' offense? He's like, well, we're missing 37 points per game. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your best
pretty
player's
accurate.
not available in the lineup. That's going to make things a little more difficult for you.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty accurate
One of the
assessment.
greatest offensive players in the history of the NBA is not in your lineup, and your offense isn't as good. What's bogging it down right now, LeBron?
Did you see, I think I saw it on a retweet. Did you see Ric Flair? Did you see Ric Flair last night?
No.
Was
he at the game?
He may or may not be a Laker fan. I don't even
Oh.
know if Ric Flair's. I thought he was a Charlotte guy.
I did too.
So maybe he's a Laker fan from back in the 80s or whatever.
Probably sounds right.
He just tweeted Luka Doncic, take a shot and get out there and play. You make $50 million a year. Save them. I was like, what? Ric Flair?
Off of the top rope?
Just off the top rope with a leg drop?
Look, Luka, quit being a bitch. Get your ass in the lineup, all right? Stop flying to Germany or wherever you're going for your, stem cell treatments to try and treat your hamstring or whatever the hell's
He
hurt.
said, Luka, at Luka Doncic, please get in the game, take a shot at cortisone and deal with the pain. They're
Yes.
paying you $50 a year. and you're not there. WTF. I hope Jeannie Buss trades you next year.
No, she can't. She's not
Nobody
the owner
wants
anymore.
a lame duck on their team.
She doesn't own the team anymore, so I don't think she can pull that trade off. She has sold the team, Rick, so we got to update that one. But, hey, that guy probably wrestled through God knows how many injuries. He's looking at Luka like a softie.
We got a lot to get to here on a Wednesday's Statter Story. It's good to be in with you. Let's start the show next. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night. Start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James in the loss, 27 points and 6 assists. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2 for both of those series are tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado's still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. And in NFL news, former Patriots receiver Stephon Diggs was found not guilty of assaulting his private chef in a pay dispute. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
On Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 The Fan. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Back on top in June.
What was worse last night? James Harden turning the basketball over. He has 43 turnovers in 8 playoff games. The Cavs themselves have the most turnovers in the NBA playoffs to this point since 1996.
He's never going to beat the allegations, is he?
No, it doesn't appear he will, Andrew.
Is there anything that he could do to redeem himself?
Yeah, they win this series, and he has a good Game 7.
Does that redeem himself, though, career-wise, if they just get to the conference finals? Like, does he?
If they get to the NBA finals, I think there's a little bit of redemption.
There's a little bit of redemption?
Because what we don't allow is the nuance of conversation and honesty about rosters in this league's history, right? It's always down to one player.
Right.
Oh, what did that one player accomplish?
Right. You got to win a title.
He didn't accomplish this. Okay, that means he's not as great.
Right.
Whereas, like, Barkley, how many finals did Barkley get to?
Just the one, I believe, right?
So, like, I'm not telling you James Harden's better than Charles Barkley all the time. I'd take Barkley. But I'm just saying, like, if Harden got the Cavs or helped get the Cavs to the finals at this point, yeah, I think he'd redeem some of it.
He's got to play good, I think, in order to get there. It's one thing if you get there and he's, like, along for the ride. If he's a good player in the mix, then I think I'll grant the opinion. I saw the stat, though. He's played in 181 playoff games now after last night. That was the 45th time he's had as many or more turnovers than field goals in a game. So literally a quarter of his playoff games he's played in, he's had as many turnovers or more than he's made field goals in the game. And last night was another example where he had more turnovers than, I think it was 7 or 8 turnovers and 6 field goals made.
I will watch the end of those games, but that's got to be one of the least exciting playoff series to hit our TVs in the second round in a while. There's just nothing exciting about Pistons Cavs.
Not a lot of juice. It's not anything against the markets. Some of it is the Harden thing. Detroit's not the most enjoyable team to watch.
It's Cade Cunningham and everybody else.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
And I turned it on because I forgot it started a little bit earlier. I turned it on after dinner at halftime. It was the start of the third quarter. And Cleveland made a little bit of an inroad, and they tried to make it a game. It wasn't a terrible game, but it was weird to see, like, everybody in Detroit seemingly got the memo, we're all going to go get food and go to the bathroom, because there was nobody in their seats at the start of the third quarter. It took like halfway through the third quarter for that place to fill back up. It was kind of a weird look, but good for the Pistons, man. Them getting to the conference finals. It's what a weird postseason for them so far. I know it's only one game, but probably should have lost to Orlando. Orlando just did something historically bad in Game 6 at home. That would have been an 8-1 upset. Now they're up 1-0 in the second round against Cleveland. Like, that's going to be a weird feeling of, we were a moment away from losing in the first round, and now we're 3 wins away from the conference finals.
I think, if anything, the one fan base watching last night, laughing, should have been the Knicks fans.
Yeah,
they should be thinking thinking about NBA Finals games.
This is it.
That's what I would tell myself if I was a Knicks fan.
Yes.
So what was worse, James Harden doing that
really bad last night,
or watching SGA do his foul baiting gimmick?
I can't stand him.
And look, I will defend some of it. Like, he's really good at drawing contact. I think he's good at, like, going up into contact. Last night, I'm watching this thing, and people have now clipped videos. You can find this all over social media.
Yeah, you can't hide from the eye in the sky.
It was another level of, like, truly pathetic.
Every time anybody was within arm's reach of him, he was falling to the ground.
He had one where Kennard was roughly with him around the free throw line, and he leaned back, and he kind of kicked his foot out, and he made his body go weird, and he fell on the ground, and they called a foul, and Kennard, like, looked around, and Kennard did not touch him. Reddick couldn't challenge because if he lost, they had no timeouts because they burned a lot of their timeouts early.
Trying to stop every OKC 10-0 run. Timeout! You got to call a lot of those in a game like that to try and hold on for dear life.
Also, like, it feels weird to root for the Lakers.
It does.
It feels wrong.
It's dirty.
I was wearing my Beat LA t-shirt this weekend at a coffee shop, and a guy just starts laughing and goes, "We don't wear Beat Portland shirts." And I go, "Yeah, I get it. We're the little brother."
I know.
I know. It's,
I don't know if we've ever beaten you in the playoffs.
You don't need to make the comment. I understand. You don't wear Beat Portland.
Have we ever won a postseason series against the Lakers?
Sure. At one time.
We have Cliff, the out-of-bounds Cliff moment, or the turnover from Cliff. That was a heartbreaker. That team could have won a title. Obviously.
Well, you know what? We haven't. Let's go back and let's not talk about that.
I don't think we have.
My point is,
I mean, I'm sure we have maybe in like night, like randomly.
I'm sitting here rooting for a player that I've loved his whole career and appreciate more than I am wanting OKC to win because
without a doubt, it's not even close.
I can't stand watching the flop and the flailing.
No.
And then, like, what's nuts about that team, and this is almost a compliment to them, it's just insane that I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, it's a 4-point game. And you walk to the kitchen to just throw a thing in the sink, and you come back, and they're up 14 points. You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
How do they get all these points that quickly? It's annoying.
It's really frustrating.
I cannot stand it.
It's also another example of just like I do find myself rooting for the Lakers in the series, and it feels dirty to say that.
I'm rooting for LeBron, is how I'd phrase it.
Yes, it's not a Laker thing.
LeBron.
Like, I don't know how many more runs we're going to get at this. He's playing at such a high level at the age of 41. Like, you sent a text last night of if you put him on another team,
Thanks for responding, by the way.
Dude, it was
both of you. It was like 8 o'clock.
I know. It wasn't even that late.
I was already on my way to sleep.
I was sweating out the over in the hockey game, which, by the way, an empty net goal with 4 seconds to go, full-length ice. Like, this bet's not out of cast. I was locked into that.
So let me ask you. You were going to... I text you and Brandon last night. I was actually more disappointed in you, Brandon. Him not responding, I'm used to that. Like, it's by 7 o'clock.
I didn't get my nap in yesterday, so
that's okay.
Early bedtime.
Yeah.
Let me throw this at the listeners, too. You can chime in at 503-864-6326. If you added LeBron on any team, sans OKC, what team would you pick if they had LeBron that would beat OKC in your opinion? Like, right now, I took this LeBron, the way he's playing. Dude, he was awesome last night.
He was unbelievable.
He was the only player for the Lakers outside of Jarrett Vanderbilt's pinky that was newsworthy.
Dude, the face on the Thunder bench when that happened was
I'm glad
really
we
funny.
didn't see it.
Yeah.
It had to have been horrific.
If you're looking, like, fingers get dislocated all the time in basketball games.
Completely backwards. If you added him to any of the other teams, the West or the East, what team would you add LeBron where you'd say you would actually pick them to beat OKC?
The East is tough. New York would be the easiest pick right now.
Imagine him on the Knicks team.
On the Knicks, yeah.
OG.
The way he's playing.
Brunson,
you just sit Bridges down at that point. Like, take your ass to the bench, dude. You don't need to play anymore. You're terrible.
You just be the 8th man off the bench.
You can be, ninth guy. So the Knicks would have a puncher's chance. I don't know if I'd pick them, but that would be the only one in the East that would make me... I need to see a little bit more out of Philly before I go there because it's one series so far and they look so bad in game one. We'll see how tonight goes.
Who would he be scarier on, Oklahoma or Minnesota or San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got Ann Edwards in Minnesota. He got Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I got Jaden McDaniels. I
just think the Spurs could use that leadership and experience.
The veteran that
without
can
a doubt.
everything.
That
Yeah.
super veteran experience.
I'll go on.
Think about his
dude,
brain with those guys.
This playoff
Yeah.
run.
What the hell, dude? I hate Oklahoma City enough. Minnesota or San Antonio. Put them on either one. I'll pick them to beat OKC.
No, I'm asking legitimately.
I think they would. I think they absolutely could. Yeah. I mean, Minnesota has the Anthony Edwards thing. There's a ton of experience. If you put him in the middle of that with everything else they have going,
he'd find a way to fit in.
He'd find a way to fit in. And to Brandon's point on San Antonio, like that's the one thing that San Antonio's kind of missing. Like outside of Harrison Barnes, who's not a big role, like he's handful of minutes a game.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox had one postseason series in his career coming into this.
He was one of the playoff vet guys that was giving
It was
credit.
like
It's
5
he played in one
games, dude.
series.
Like they got bounced in the first round. I don't even remember how long it went.
And that beam died quick.
That's kind of the one thing that they're missing, and they looked a little lost late in the game, and so you got LeBron to toss the ball to in the half court to go get you a bucket, a fadeaway, turnaround jumper, whatever. Yeah, I'd have no problem picking either. To your original question of what is worse, and to the point of who's not responding to text, I expect this out of James Harden. Not that I don't out of SGA. Like, James Harden has always been this in the postseason, which is why the trade deadline move just made me kind of chuckle of like, you're looking for a guy to put you over the top, and James Harden is the one you hitched your wagon to? All right, good luck with that. And so far in the postseason, that's gone according to plan because he's been terrible, and they were pretty fortunate to win their first-round series. Like, SGA, man, you wwant a title. You're the MVP. You're probably going to win another MVP. Just be better than that. The Jaylen Brown stuff
Be
was
better. That's
I know, it's
that's
just his
him,
game.
Dude.
It sucks. It's absolutely sucks. It's not fun to watch. It's not entertaining.
It's why
Harris and Meringue have a promo going. I love my guy Patrick Harris. Okay, love my guy P. Harris.
Okay,
they have a promo playing to our point on promos from yesterday on the mail side question about how he finds them enjoyable to watch. And I just every time I hear it, I yell at my radio and I'm like, no, they're not. They're not fun to watch. They can run people out of the gym because they're deep and they're talented. I grant you that.
Dude, they're so deep. How many people don't even know who AJ Mitchell is?
No idea. Who
and
the hell's
he's in
this
the
guy?
starting friggin' lineup just hitting threes.
Never heard of this guy before, and he's dropping like 15 in a playoff game.
They're like 12-1 with him
It's
as the starter.
insane. They don't need J-Dub.
No, they don't need one of their best players who we would die for this offseason.
Lord.
They don't even feel the impact of him not being in the lineup. So first off, screw them. Second off, like, no, when your best player is that, no. It's like, hot take, I'd rather watch the Pistons play basketball right now than the Thunder because I appreciate Cade Cunningham's game
crazy.
more than I do SGA's.
You
I'm
can
not
hate
saying
SGA.
he's better.
They
I'm
play
not.
such a beautiful style of basketball.
Get out of here, dude. When the best player is going finding a way to the foul line every 15 seconds.
Is that the sound he makes versus
That's the
Kobe?
sound he
He's
makes.
like, hey!
But he was actually getting fouled. M1, you got those, but you're trying to finish and somebody makes contact with you. I'm out, dude. I hate him.
All right, so of these 4 teams, I'll put the poll question up as a fun start to the show. Of these 4 teams, which of these 4 teams would you pick to beat OKC if they added LeBron right now? Knicks, T-Wolves, Spurs. Is it Sixers? Is it Pistons? Is it Cavs?
I think you go, give me Sixers right now.
I put Sixers on it,
Give me
too.
Sixers right now.
Because they'd have Embiid, Maxey, George. Like,
There's
that's
bigger names, more household
Edgecombe.
guys.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm with you
go
there.
with Philly.
All right, I'll put the poll question up at Dirt and Spray. You can vote there. Lakers end up not covering the number, even though it was close for most of the way. We'll talk some more NBA. I got some college football stuff I want to get to at the top of the hour.
Hell yeah,
And
bro.
I have a very random baseball segment coming up next that we'll get to. Bobby Marks will join us at 8 a.m. today. Dirt and Spray, we're back with more on 105.1 The Fan. Well, Mariner fans got to see what an MVP looks like.
It took him 45 minutes into the show.
Matt Olson, baby.
I was waiting for that.
He's been awesome, man. He has been freaking awesome.
My team still sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Terrible.
Unfortunately, I saw that. I want to read this one from Optistats real quick.
Yeah.
A little bit of a baseball segment here.
Oh, okay.
Matt Olson currently leads the majors outright in doubles, RBIs, and runs scored. He's the first player to hold the outright MLB lead in all three categories at the end of any day in May or later since Ted Williams did it in 1949.
Old Teddy Ballgame himself,
Old
man.
Teddy Ballgame,
That's
man.
a long, long time ago,
Yeah.
according to my math.
So this isn't so much like a, hey, last night in baseball segment. This is
Okay.
more of a,
General baseball theme segment.
I would say it's a plea.
Oh, a plea? We're pleading?
It's a straight up plea.
Who are we pleading to?
I am pleading to the sport of baseball. You've done a lot of really smart, good things, in my opinion. I think
They have.
You've gotten people back to caring about your sport.
The challenge has been unbelievable this year. Yelling at
Yes,
players
the
for challenging,
ADS, right.
them mocking umpires in real time, like being able to show up somebody, an umpire or a player. It has been phenomenal. It's quick. It's over in a heartbeat. Like I love it. It's been a great change.
One thing I think as a sport they could do, and it may be a little thing to many, but I personally, as a sports fan, being the age of 39, think if you do this, you have almost made up for every stupid thing you were doing for years. There has never, and I repeat, there has never in the history of the sport been a better year for you to look in the mirror and say, we made our fair share of mistakes.
Yeah.
We are done punishing Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez. Come on down to the MLB Hall of Fame. I would like to read you the first-time candidates eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I have not seen the
Oh,
list.
yeah.
Who retired 5 years ago?
Okay, I'm going to rattle them off, and I want you to tell me
Okay.
who gets in this class.
This is going to be a fun walk down memory lane. I love doing this.
Jake Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta. Yes. Talk about roids. That guy was roided out of his mind.
Jay Bruce.
I love Jay Bruce. He had a pretty left-hand swing.
As Drupal Cabrera. Starlin Castro.
Hey, Starlin Castro won a World Series, didn't he?
Wade Davis.
Wait.
Dexter Fowler.
Dexter Fowler, man.
Todd Frazier. Brett Gardner. J.A. Happ. Scott Kazmir.
Oh, my God.
John Lester.
Yeah, John Lester, probably. Is John Lester a Hall of Famer?
He's Hall of
Is
very
he a Hall of
good.
Famer? I got to
think
look
he's
up at
Hall of
those.
very
Let me
good.
check overall numbers for John Lester.
Andrew Miller.
Yeah, not a Hall of
Mitch
Famer.
Moreland. Your guy who's destroying your own team, Buster Posey.
Buster will be a Hall of Famer. I don't know
Yeah.
about first ballot. He'll be a Hall of Famer.
Buster Posey. I'm going to give you a hot take. Buster Posey, first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's first ballot for you, huh?
Yeah,
That is a
he's-
bit of a hot take, I think.
He ruined the sport, but he's a Hall of Fame career.
Hey.
Hall of Fame
well,
career.
he's actively ruining my team, too, so I got that going for me.
Irvin Santana. Kyle Siegler's on this list.
Kyle Seager's been retired for 5 years already?
Yeah, I guess so.
Mariner legend.
Joakim Soria, Ryan Zimmerman, and one, give me a second here,
This is one of the worst classes of all
Jordan
time.
Zimmerman.
Jordan Zimmerman.
You tell me in the
That's
class
pretty
of
bad.
2027
That's pretty bad.
why baseball shouldn't collectively go, all right, we're done doing this.
This is stupid.
We're not putting Dexter Fowler in the MLB Hall of Fame.
Right.
Nor do we want one new guy and then maybe one old guy that gets in on the, what is that, the committee voting him in.
Yeah.
It's time. It
Champions
is time
Committee or
to
whatever.
right the wrongs. Bonds, Clemens, A-Rod, Buster Posey, and then one of the, Dale Murphy. Whoever the hell you want to put in there. It's time for baseball to do the right thing. That's a terrible class.
That's pretty bad. There's only two names that even deserve consideration, I think, from that class. Now, maybe I'm being disrespectful to somebody, and I don't know. I'm not firm enough with the numbers off the top of my head. The only two guys that even deserve contemplation and will probably end up going in are John Lester and Buster Posey.
Did you look up Lester's numbers?
So he's got 200 career wins.
It's pretty good in the
Pretty
modern
remarkable.
era.
He pitched for 16 years. Career ERA 3.66. He obviously had seasons where he won 16, 15, 19, 15, 16, 19, 13, 18 over his Red Sox and Cubs runs. He won a World Series with the Cubs. He won, how many did he get with Boston? One or two? He was a, 5-time All-Star. I don't know if he ever won. He did not win a Cy Young, so that's probably the biggest knock
pitchers
against
are in the
him.
Hall that haven't won a Cy Young?
That's a great question.
That's a stat I'd be interested to find out.
Because that might be the only, because you could say he was never the best pitcher in a given year, but there's other guys
that were never the best pitcher in a year.
Let's see. That didn't win a Cy Young.
See if Google AI helps you on this one.
Yeah. By the way, the Blazer question on beating the Lakers, it has happened twice.
That's what I told you. Yeah.
77 and 1992.
Oh, 77. How about
Yes.
that?
Numerous Hall of Fame pitchers are in the Hall of Fame that have never won a Cy
There
Young.
you go. So that's not a requirement.
Part of it is because the award wasn't established until 1956.
That's still a lot of pitchers that are in since 1956.
Yeah.
Or is it all pre-1956?
Did Nolan Ryan never win a Cy Young?
That can't be right.
That can't be
There's
right.
no way that's true.
That can't
See,
be
this is Google AI screwing up again.
It says Phil Niekro, Don Sutton were not Cy Young Award winners. So then obviously some relievers that never won it because relievers don't win Cy Young Awards, or very rarely. Maybe it's happened before. So it's not like it's never happened before. I don't know if Lester's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I wouldn't go down kicking and screaming if he does ultimately make it in. And you know how I feel about my guy Buster. He deserves to be in for the 3 championships and the MVP that he won. Like, that's a pretty good calling card. One of the best catchers from a generation of players, right? A face of a modern dynasty. But when you look at it on the whole, his numbers don't necessarily jump off the page because he retired at such a young age. Like, he could have compiled for another 4 or 5 years. I mean, theoretically, he could still be playing technically now. He retired super young after the 21 season. He wanted to spend time with his family, and he was like, dude, I'm out. My knees are toast, and I don't want to do this anymore. So his numbers didn't compile the way some other guys do, but I think you would look at him as more of a smaller window run that he went on as one of the most dominant catchers in the game.
8-time All-Star.
Is this Buster?
2-time ERA title. World Series in 1969. Nolan Ryan has never won a Cy Young.
Never won a Cy Young. And I think they started awarding the Cy Young in 1956.
That seems very bizarre to say.
That's a weird one. But he's obviously a Hall of Famer. He's one of the most recognizable
324 wins.
noted pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
I think 200 in the modern game has almost become the new 300.
The new 300?
Like, you got to downgrade your expectations.
Because we've looked it up. Like, nobody really actively is close to reaching that. So my whole point is, like, baseball's done a lot of really good, smart things, and some people have bucked against what they've wanted to do, and I think have since turned and said, I actually like this.
Right.
And you get the zigzag people, the counterculture people that tell you ABS is terrible and it sucks and they don't like it. But for the most part, I think it's pretty overwhelming that it's helped the sport improve this year, and then all the changes they've made the last couple of years. This needs to be, as a sports fan,
it would be really smart for them to do it this summer.
You need to write it.
This Hall of Fame class, even for my guy, if Buster gets in the first ballot, I'm stoked about that. That's not a big name. It's not a Griffey. It's not a Jeter. It's not that's not a name that will resonate with a lot of fans.
Well, it wouldn't be this summer. It's 2027 class.
Oh, okay. So for
next summer. That's the next crop of available guys.
By the way, quickly on the active wins leaders in baseball, there's only 2 guys with 200-plus wins right now, Verlander and Scherzer. Neither one will get to 300. They're both 43 and 41. Verlander's at 266. Scherzer's at 222. The next on the list is Garrett Cole, who is now 35 years old. Are you kidding me?
Scherzer
He's
and
at 153.
are going to the Hall.
They're both in the Hall.
Those are Hall of Fame.
Chris Sale, 37 years old. He's been in the big leagues for 16 years, 151 wins.
His best pitching's been happening in Atlanta.
I mean, he's been
unbelievable.
He's been really good his entire career. He's at 151. He's barely halfway there.
Do the right thing, baseball. Do the right thing. We have a loaded second hour. There's a lot to discuss. We're going to pivot. This happened yesterday in college football. And some say real ball knowers wouldn't be for it, except it's the ones who do love ball the most, and we'll tell you what it is. Hour 2, Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night to start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James, 27 points and 6 assists in the loss. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Both of those Game 2s are tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado's still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. And in NFL news, former Patriots receiver Stephon Diggs was found not guilty yesterday of assaulting his private chef in a pay dispute. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2. Dirt and Sprague here on 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your Wednesday is off to a rip-roaring start. We were just debating an MLB Hall of Fame stuff.
Feels good to yell about those, doesn't it? It's always one that gets people fired up.
Well, I thought it'd be better to talk about that and how we all kind of agree, even if we think they're slimy and
they're definitely
they cheated
slimy,
in some ways. I mean, we have eyeballs and brains, and it was the era, and they weren't the only ones. And it's weird how we punish specifically like 3 over like the vast majority.
Well, we now have known steroid users in the Hall of Fame too,
mean,
so it's a purity check that does not.
It doesn't hold up.
If it was a one size fits all, and everybody who has ever been associated with it wasn't in, but they let David Ortiz in because he got a cool nickname.
I just thought it'd be better to talk about that than the Braves winning in Seattle yesterday. I wasn't holding my breath. Not at all.
Dude, you guys, you might be my only hope, man. San Diego might have a chance at it this year.
I don't know if we can do it.
I don't know if you could do it.
I love our team. It's been a lot of fun this year.
You know what I'll be doing come postseason time because we ain't sniffing it this year.
You chopping with
I'm
me?
chopping. I'll chop with you this year. I'll get my chop. I've chopped before.
Yeah.
I felt a little weird chopping.
Okay.
But when you're in the middle of a chop, you kind of, the crowd gets you going a little bit.
Hey, man.
It's aesthetic.
Everybody was crotch chopping in middle school. Hey, teacher.
At that Braves game in the 7th inning, and I've got my cell phone light out, and I'm like, what am I doing right now? Looking around, chanting. This is weird.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't do anymore.
So the arm is okay? The chantings?
I don't do it anymore.
You don't do either of them? I call BS on that.
I don't.
When in Rome, you take yourself to a Braves game. You're telling me it's 3-2 in the 8th inning. You got a reliever coming in. The whole crowd's doing it. You're going to be the only one. Everybody
panicking.
in your section's going to be like, hey, look at this guy. He's not chopping over here. He's not a real Braves fan.
I'm panicking. I'm starting to eat the hot dog. Oh, now it's time to eat. Can't chop. Sorry.
I got to gobble my dog real quick.
Fun sports stat as we kick off the second hour here is if they made Back to the Future right now.
No, I don't do it.
And
Please don't
Marty
do it.
hopped into the time machine, he'd go back to the last time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl. Oh, I love that one. That's my
How
favorite.
about them Cowboys?
A lot to get to in the second hour of the radio program. An hour from right now, we will be on the phone talking, fingers crossed, with ESPN's Bobby Marks.
What up, Bobby?
And we're going to throw out to Bobby Marks. The one thing he probably hates is how many random people recognize him that are sports nuts and they just throw out trades.
Hey, Bobby, would you do this deal?
Big fan, Bobby. Would you give up this for that guy?
We want Trey Murphy. How many first-round picks should we include? I want him to articulate the Denny Avdia contract situation because I am not smart enough to. I could ballpark it, but I don't know the specifics.
Totally
and
fine.
he can walk us through that in an hour.
Before I get to my college football segment, I really want to talk about with you. I want to remind you that on June 23rd.
What?
Brandon, are you writing this down?
You writing it down?
Oh, it's already on the calendar.
Oh, he's ready to go.
Oh, it's already on your
calendar. Are you
calendar.
going to be out there June 23rd?
We'll see. I hope so.
Oh,
Okay.
you pop out, man. June 23rd, Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms. Foursomes are on sale now, and they're going fast. How fast? Well, so fast that I was told almost gone here, Sprague.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll tell the people, go to 1051thefan.com. You got to click on the Fan Golf Classic logo, and that's where you sign up your foursome. Afternoon round, morning round, still available. We'll be hanging out at the infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3. That'll be the 6th hole, the Volcano Hole. Hanging out, having a good time, and we'll all be eating Matt's barbecue. I can already taste the brisket. The Fan Golf Classic presented by Toyota is also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Dobel Tequila, your neighborhood restaurant group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, Illegal Mezcal, and Window Nation. So I saw a clip from Monday that made the rounds on the internet, and it was somebody I really respect and enjoy, Kevin Clark.
Kevin Clark.
May know him.
I do
covers
know him.
the NFL at large for ESPN, does the Kevin Clark show on the Omaha Productions. He's also a big college football guy.
Yes, he is.
He's a diehard Miami fan. And he was on with Paul Feinbaum, and Paul Feinbaum threw at him the 2014 playoff.
Yeah.
And he basically said what I think a lot of people feel is like, the people who don't really care about the sport want the 2014 playoff. And that quote made its rounds, and, you know, he backs it. He really feels that way, and so I'm fine with it.
Sure.
I've been telling you now for 3-4 weeks, I've noticed Josh Pate dabbling in the 2014 playoff scenario stuff, and when he does that, that makes me think there's real traction. Well, let's fast forward to yesterday. According to Ross Dellinger in Yahoo Sports, the American Football Coaches Association voted last week
The AFCA.
to recommend college leaders implement a playoff with the maximum number of participants, discontinuing conference championship games, and preserving the Army-Navy game window, but holding other games on that day, and to end the playoff by the second week of January. If you're wondering, the maximum number of participants would be the number 24.
We got him, boys.
Now, Kevin Clark, you might be speaking a lot of truth, but I think you got to be careful with the only people who don't care about the sport want that.
Yeah.
Literally, the college football coaches are all telling you, and most of it's job preservation.
Yes.
They want it to be maximized so they can be 8-4, 9-3, make the playoff, and get all the fans off their freaking backs. And so this is, I will just tell you, I don't know when,
It's going to happen.
but it's gonna happen.
The Big Ten's not
it's hard
dying.
to see it not happening.
Or they're not getting off this hill. Like, the Big Ten's going to die on this stance.
Because they want
want
Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State,
Yeah,
USC.
they feel like they could get 7 teams in every
Yes.
year, and the payout's going to be huge, and that's what they want. It makes all their conference members happy. First off, the Coaches Association coming out with this, I did read through the Craig Bowl comments because he's the head of the AFCA.
I have those comments.
Craig Bowl is, by the way, one of the all-time great characters in college football. He was the coach at Wyoming for a long time, North Dakota State. He'd like stand on the Wyoming sidelines in a polo, and it'd be 4 degrees and snowing. An absolute psychopath, smaller coach. Always loved Craig Bowl. He did say in there that like it doesn't matter if it's 16 or 24. They're leaving that up to the powers that be. But I think you're smart and spot on to read between the lines. And this comes on the heels. Joe Klatt was doing some rounds of interviews earlier in the week across the country. He was riling up SEC people because he's not a big SEC guy. He doesn't call SEC games. And he was, ranting and raving about Kalen DeBoer, and Alabama fans were getting pissed. But he went on this tangent basically saying he's hearing from so many coaches that now support this. And the reason they support it is what you highlighted. It's for one main reason. It is job preservation.
Bonuses and contracts. I've made the playoffs. I need more money.
The irony of all of this is there are always unintended consequences. So as of right now, it is deemed a successful or failure of a season for a good chunk of elite programs, whether you do or do not make the playoff. If Oregon is to miss the playoff next year, how do we feel about that season?
It's the most disappointing
It's a massive disappointment, right? 9-3, you could be a game away. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care how you lost the 3 games. Doesn't matter how it looked. You didn't make the college football playoff, and you were supposed to this year. That's a failure of a season. If you lower the bar of expectations in terms of how many teams get in and the way fans are going to feel, the fan expectations are just going to change accordingly. Like, that's the thing that I chuckle about here. So we have all these coaches ranting about participation awards and all these, we're doing too much in society to pat these kids on the fanny. And then in behind closed-door meetings,
They want participation
you want a
awards.
participation award of saying, I was the 23 seed in the playoffs, so get off my ass. I made it this year. But, like, I just think about this for a second. Now, some programs, you make the playoff and you'll be happy to be there. Not every program has the same expectations. If you're Kalen DeBoer or insert whatever coach you want here, Lincoln Riley at USC, is making the playoff as an 18 seed and getting bounced in your first game enough to get fans off your back?
Well, not
I think
Kalen
fans'
DeBoer.
expectations will adjust accordingly to failure or non-failure that you didn't even win a play. You got there, you didn't win a game.
Kalen DeBoer, no.
Now you're Mike Tomlin.
Lincoln Riley and USC making the playoff? Yeah. That's
In a
positive
24
step for
team
them.
field, I mean, sure, in a 12 team it would
They've
be,
never
but
made it.
in a 24 team field, they'd be in there quite often because 8-4, 9-3 USC are in there every year. My point is just simply that we will move the goalposts on what
Yeah.
we deem as a successful season.
I agree.
And so it might buy you a little leeway in the initial run, but long term, if you're not making runs in the playoffs, fans aren't going to excuse that.
So over the last month, this according to Dellinger, influential leaders on the College Football Playoff Governance Committee, such as the Big 12 and ACC commissioners Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips, as well as the standalone guy who gets a seat at the table with all these dudes, Notre Dame Athletic Director Pete Bavacqua.
He's got his own chair, man.
He has swung their support. They've all swung their support. They were initially against a few months ago. They've all swung the other way. They are in favor and behind the 24-team playoff. Tony Petitti of the Big Ten, he supported the 16-team playoff, but he would, without a doubt, support a 24-team playoff.
That's their proposal. They want 24.
The most discussed 24-team model is an all at-large field determined through the rankings with an automatic spot for the group of 6 leagues. The format adds 1 playoff round and 12 additional games to what it currently is.
Yep.
The top 8 ranked teams would receive first-round byes, while seeds 9 through 24 play in the first round on campuses. It's going to happen, in my opinion. Now, if this is wrong and they just completely go against it last minute, whatever. If this is going to go through and it's going to be 24 teams, I actually... They're doing what Lanning wants. They're ending the season relatively soon. It's going to end the second week of January.
They want to cut down on breaks in between games so there's not these big layoffs.
And I like that.
All that stuff is great.
I don't think I like the bye. If you're going to have 24-team playoffs, make
either.
everybody have to play.
This is why I don't think
through
you need 24. There's no way you can do it mathematically with 24 because the numbers don't work in terms of when you play.
Yeah.
So you got to give 8 a bye. Then you got 16 teams that play. Then the 8 win those games, and then the 8 that won those games play the 8 teams that have byes. That's just the only way that bracket works. That's why I'm more in favor of 16. I just think the math makes more sense. 16 is a bigger number. You're still allowing a bigger allotment of teams in. Everybody should be satisfied out of that. You're not going to get the 8-4 Iowa riffraff in there at the back end that I don't need to see play a playoff game. And then everybody would play right out of the gate. 116, 215, so on and so forth with 2 rounds at home sites.
2 rounds
and then
of
you
home
get
sites.
the higher seeded teams that get to host a couple of playoff games, which is a massive revenue generator for the local communities, for the schools, and it's awesome for the fan bases to not have to travel. It just makes a lot more sense for me to do that. Look, I'm not going to tell the 24-team playoff is going to ruin the sport or that if you like it, you're not a real college football fan. I respect Kevin Clark. I'm not going to go that far. I do have genuine fears just about what it does to the regular season, and maybe it's a misplaced fear, and none of it comes to fruition. That's a lot of teams in a postseason, man.
The AFCA board, so the conference, the coaches, conference commissioners association, or coaching association, excuse me. The board includes names of Brett Bielema, Brent Venables, Clark Lee, Rhett Lashley, Joey McGuire, Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So those are your big names that are a part of this coaches thing, but largely they're all talking to all the coaches throughout the country.
Yeah, you're getting recommendations.
I mean, there's no doubt that if they went to this, the expectations, because this is job preservation. These guys have the sweetest gigs, debatably in sports. Their buyouts give them generational wealth, and they get to hold all the power if they stay in, right? making the playoffs simply will not be enough in a 2014 playoff.
For some, it might because you're not supposed to be there. But for the majority of the bigger guys, it won't be.
But if you keep making it and not winning a game, nobody's going to care that you made it. Like, dude, you're 8-4, making the playoff as the last of this major conference.
Yeah, I'll use the Mike Tomlin example. How many years in a row were Steelers fans like, hey, we're just made it, but we didn't win a game.
We're the wild card, but we don't really care about our
sucks.
quarterback.
Get out of here. We want you fired.
So I'm more just, to me, I think that the shine would wear off of job preservation rather quickly. I could actually see it happening year one of a 2014 playoff. If there's a coach at an institution, call it DeBoer, say he doesn't win a title, they implement a 2014 playoff, he's 9-3, he loses his first game. I could see that scenario where, like, dude, we don't care that you made the playoff. There's 24 teams in this thing.
No.
You're Ala-frickin-Bama.
You want a cookie for that? Are you kidding me?
Well, but what would... So, to Kevin Clark's point, and you kind of touched on it there, you know my stance on the regular season and how much it would impact it or not impact it.
Yeah.
I've given that argument enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm more kind of curious from what do you think is worse for the sport, though, 2014 playoff or the NIL portal? Because... both of these are the priorities of the sport right now.
They are.
What we're looking at right now is, are they going to hand everything over and say, Donald Trump, save our sport, even though you couldn't name anything about it?
An executive order won't work. All it takes is one lawsuit, and a player will file a lawsuit, and it'll get struck down.
The Sabins of the world are out here parroting, we need to get this under control. It's like, does anybody have buyouts under control? Is anybody stopping, like, coaches for making $14 million a year? Is that out of control?
Yeah. Kalen DeBoer just got a massive contract extension.
Kalen DeBoer is going to, by the end of his career, if he doesn't absolutely fall on his face at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer is going to walk away from the sport in his life $200+ million. That's where these guys go.
It's a lot of money.
They're going to walk away with NBA player money.
Yep.
And so it's like, but that's not out of control. It's the portal, and it's how much the players get paid, because the salary cap doesn't really exist in the sport, even though they've tried to say it's $23 million or whatever it actually is supposed to be. So I'm more kind of curious what's worse for the sport, a 2014 playoff.
Such a hard question.
Or the NIL portal.
I would still have to lean NIL portal because of the familiarity with players and the bigger fish eat littler fish vibe that a lot of programs around the country have. Like, I'm taking my fandom out of this. I have no issue with the transfer portal because Oregon lands big time guys. We don't lose starters, and I love it. It makes our team better every year.
You guys have
we're also unique.
According to Andy Staples, I thought this was an interesting note since you brought it up. You guys have debatably been the best portal team in the sport when you look at NFL draft.
They've had more guys drafted that were portal guys and some of them were.
And it's early, but so far that's the returns.
And some of them were, can't miss Dylan Thienemans and Derek Harmons, and then other guys were Malik Benson, who was a no-namer at Alabama who wasn't playing.
Bo Nix,
who was given up on. Tez Johnson came from Troy, and so
think about a lineman.
Right, you've had a little bit of both. They've had more guys. So it certainly benefits our program, but I get the gripes with it. I fully am aware and understand it. I also, 2014 playoff, to me, it won't be as detrimental as long as it's implemented correctly.
The FCS model is the model here, is it not?
It's without a doubt the model, as long as you were in a spot where I think something that will benefit fans greatly, that fans will be all on board with, is that if you give multiple home games right out of the gate, so you're not making fans travel to Miami and then New Orleans and then Atlanta and then Phoenix and then Dallas to go watch their team throughout a playoff run, because nobody can afford that outside of the 1%. You give them home games, I think that'd be great. If you cut down on the time off, so you finish the season, there's like an Army-Navy game or whatever weekend you want that, or how you want that weekend to look, and you're jumping right into the playoffs and you're playing through the month of December, it won't be quite as detrimental. I am a fan of, and I love that they recommended getting rid of conference championship games. I think they've just become obsolete in this modern era.
They punish teams if they do anything.
They punish teams, and then there's teams that lose, that like Alabama got smoked, but it didn't matter that they got smoked, but BYU got smoked, but they got punished. Right. And so it's like we're treating everybody different here. There's a benefit, but not a benefit. It doesn't make any sense. Have it be a play-in weekend. I think that makes that weekend a lot better. So there's ways that you can do this. I think getting more broadcast partners involved would be a really good thing for the sport, and not just have one voice and have ESPN control the entire thing, have Fox and NBC and CBS and some of the other networks get a say in it and be able to broadcast games. So there's a way that they could do it that I don't think would be that detrimental. I just don't have a lot of faith in the people that are in charge to make the right decisions, because they very rarely do in college athletics. So I'll still say NIL and portal is the bigger detriment to fans loving the sport. 24 is a lot, man. It's a big number. And I don't ever, like, people are making comps on the text line to March Madness. It will never be that. Football is football, and it's king in this country.
You can make an argument, though, that 24 is as close to March Madness as the sport will ever get.
Like, there is an element of we will still watch our teams, we will still be engaged, we will still react when they lose. All of that you are correct on. It just won't have the same feeling watching.
Why?
Because it doesn't matter if you lose.
I disagree with that fundamentally. It does matter. If you lose 3 games, let's use Oregon.
You're still a playoff team.
I agree.
What if we win 2 games in the playoffs? Who cares if we lost games in the regular season?
Your road to the title is a 3-loss team versus
it becomes tough for sure, yeah.
Yes, it becomes infinitely tougher. It's the same. Look, I'm not a big 24 team
Miami
guy.
is a great example of this, I think, last year.
Sure.
Miami lost 2 games in the regular season that they had no business losing last year.
And they were debated if they should have made it.
And a lot of people felt like they shouldn't make it because they didn't have a lot of quality wins. And they made it all the way to the title game. If they didn't make the college football playoff last year, let's say the committee chose differently.
Notre Dame
makes it. BYU makes it, or whoever else. How is Miami fan feeling right now about their program?
They want Mario fired.
Right. And instead they got into the playoff because it was expanded. So this is my point about they wanted to kill him at the moment of those games, sure, but that's because it's a 12-team playoff and they thought it would limit them getting into the college football playoff.
Right. I don't disagree with that. I don't know if you and I really even disagree.
I don't think
on
there's
some
that
of
much
this
daylight
big stuff, you know, but like Oregon USC to me, it only loses its luster from a 2-team, 4-team playoff era. You'd still go into that game. Are you going into Autzen and you're like less excited to try to beat Lincoln Riley and embarrass them again?
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter as much to win.
But also, you're allowed a little bit of grace. So my whole thing, I totally think
that to me
are
is
right.
2014 playoff is too much grace. I don't need 4-team losers in the playoff.
That's absolutely fine to have that opinion.
That's too much grace.
I also think once the games start, we're kind of chapped. We're like, oh my God, we got 4 huge games here.
I got Arizona going on the road to Georgia. Like, that's not going to be competitive. And look, a lot of games have already been blowouts. I get it. So that's the easy throwback in my face. I hope you're right here, and you probably will end up being right. Football is ultimately king. There's not a lot of people who are with pitchforks. Give me 8-4 Iowa, 9-3 Arizona in the playoff. I need that.
The coaches that want those contracts they have the pitchforks. So the coaches committee voting and saying, yeah, we'd love the maximum number of playoff spots. 2014 playoff could be coming to a sport near you. We got a lot more to get to in the second hour. Dirt and Sprague, we're back with more on 105.1 The Fan.
At Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night to start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James, 27 points and 6 assists in the loss. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2s for both of those series are tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado's still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. And in NFL news, former Patriots receiver Stephon Diggs was found not guilty yesterday of assaulting his private chef in a pay dispute. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
We got Statter Story to get to in the final hour today. Bobby Marks is going to hop on in about a half hour. You have ESPN. Very quick, congratulations. If you ain't first, you're last is not always true.
There's second, there's third, there's fourth, there's fifth.
Hell, Bobby, I was drunk when I said that.
I based my whole life about that, Daddy.
such a good scene. Congratulations to Ryan Clark of OregonLive.com. He finished second in the entire country of sports beat writers.
Look at our guy, Ryan T. Clark.
How about that?
Numero dos on the big board.
And I just saw that he's trying to follow me on Instagram.
I got the Instagram follow yesterday.
Did you follow back?
I did. We're social media friends now.
I didn't click follow yet.
Big step in our relationship, Ryan.
It's a big step, dude.
Now I'm getting personal photos. We're gonna know things about each other we have known about each other.
I follow you on Instagram. I disagree. You don't ever post.
That's true. I'm not very
You
active.
never post anything.
I get a vacation. You get a baby picture once every, like 4 months.
Yeah, usually a teddy ball
You get
game
a teddy
with a
ball
golf
game
club in his
update
hand.
every 4 months. Hey, there he is. All right, he's still alive. We're here.
We have the anonymous NBA players poll. Oh. This is the only thing the NBA gives us, and the NFL's trying to get rid of this stuff.
So soft.
We need more of this. You know where we need this? We need this with politicians and franchises. We need accountability, real feedback. We've got best defensive player, most overrated player, most underrated player, best coach, least impressive coach, and we'll tell you what that is probably after Bobby Marks in the third hour of the radio program.
It's on the docket.
Also, public enemy number one to Andy Dirt Johnson reared his head. And I'll get to that in the next segment. And, buddy, I saw this and I went, oh, no.
Who do I hate?
Dirt will never like this human being.
Ooh.
As long as he's breathing oxygen.
I'll never like him.
You will dislike this person for comments they made.
Okay.
Okay? It's right in your wheelhouse.
That's a dirty tease right there.
Well, that's what I like to do. My final thing on the college football thing, because I
Yes.
don't want to, we don't have to make it two big segments here.
Oh, we can if you want to. I'll keep yelling at you.
I'm excited, man. Spring football's over. I'm thinking about getting Landon Tangwall on tomorrow.
Ooh.
Get his spring football takeaways.
He's super high. He's broken down all the spring film. The Cody Green, freshman offensive lineman in Washington, he raved about.
Is that the kid he said is the best in the country? Or is he talking about an Oregon kid?
Tommy Toffee, I think is how you say his name, is the freshman kid. I don't know which one he said was the best, but he did video breakdowns of both of them and their spring performances and how they're probably both going to be impact players right out of the gate as true freshmen this year.
The only reason I am maybe a little more open to the expansion of that playoff, even though I will admit I understand it, you can tell me that the BCS 2 team or the 4-team playoff era we lived through for a while, you can tell me those are the best to you. Okay. Mm-hmm. I also found them incredibly unfair for the vast majority of the sport in determining best team.
No issue with that.
And
completely agree.
That's the only. And look, I like the 12. The 12 is pretty good. If you stuck with 12, I'm totally happy with that. If you go to 16, cool. You go to 24, I will understand the backlash, but I'll also get on board because I'm a sports fan.
Yeah, you're just not crying wolf over it, which you might end up being right in that case. And I don't want to sound like I am saying I'm crying wolf. It's just there is a fear in my mind of will there be an unintended consequence here. that we
Yeah.
don't foresee coming. That's the only thing I'm mentioning.
I think attendance will get far worse for all of the Patsy games that end up getting scheduled in the 2014 playoff. Like, if I was a Duck fan and they're charging me 14% more on my ticket,
I mean, they had that for James Madison last year.
why am I going to 3 or 4 home games that are against teams that you're easily going to bludgeon?
Yeah, and listen,
No thanks.
YouTube brought up James Madison in the playoff last year, and I said at the time of the playoff game, like that was ludicrous that they were in.
It wasn't exciting.
It was because
It
of the
was
way
not
the rules
exciting.
were written that you had to put them in. They didn't have any choice. It wasn't they weren't an at-large bid. The ACC just did ACC things, but it was like no, that was stupid. We're not playing the same sport here, and it doesn't. Not even Oregon fan didn't even really enjoy that game, other than to say you were at a home playoff game and that was the first one in school history.
I think if anything, it just gave Oregon fan a reason to freak out.
It did. Everybody freaked out over the defensive performance in the second half because they kept giving up scores, and then they shut out Texas Tech the next week. The irony.
A couple NFL notes.
Yeah,
Jog down some NFL notes here. The Seattle Seahawks.
made a little move on the defensive line.
They did. They signed Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah.
Not something. It's a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. He won't be an every down guy, obviously, but they lost Boy Mafe in free agency.
They did. Lost some depth on the defensive line.
And so they wanted to bring in a vet who they think ultimately will make an impact. I saw this from Brady Henderson. Do you think, like, this is a move to me that, like, you say it, and
doesn't have any resonance right now.
and then big game, fill in the blank Niner
in
Ram
week 9,
game,
he's got a sack on third down.
huge sack
in
and
the
it's
fourth
like,
quarter.
oh, damn it. Like, I'm just kind of wondering, if I'm a Seattle Seahawk fan,
Yeah.
hell, if I'm a fan of any of these really good teams, you're always kind of telling yourself this is gonna make an impact in some game, some
Yes.
huge moment, right?
How many times do we see NFL teams go through seasons and have key guys miss big stretches of the season and need to rely on guys like this?
Right.
So on the surface and on the paper depth chart at the start of training camp, he's not going to be super high up there or asked to have a big role. But mark my words, at some point next season, if he stays healthy, he's going to have to play a bigger role. That's just the way the NFL works. And there's a lot of these that happen every year that go under the radar. We don't talk a ton about them because they're not household names. It's not Max Crosby trading and then the trade getting rescinded. It's not to that level. It's just you got a depth piece on the defensive line. You need as many big bodies as you can find there. I also find the way we talk about certain ages in the NFL really funny because he's
33, right?
He's 31.
31,
He's
yeah.
31 years old, and it's like, they got old, washed-up defensive lineman, Fowler Jr., or Dante Fowler Jr.,
Dante Fowler, yeah.
and he's only 31 years old. But in NFL years, it's like dog years. That is pretty long in the tooth.
Update on the NFL and NFL Referees Association.
This is going to be such a disaster.
Well, their collective bargaining agreement basically has progressed to the point where they think this is a done deal by Thursday.
Okay, they're going to get it done.
According to this ESPN
sources
report,
are saying they're going to actually do it.
And the NFL Referees Association on a new collective bargaining agreement have progressed far enough that the union has scheduled a ratification vote for Thursday night, sources told ESPN yesterday. And when formally approved by both sides, the agreement would avoid the need for replacement officials. The existing CBA is set to expire at the end of this month. They've already actually assigned some refs to games.
I know they originally did for the replacement guys, too. They had that going through the offseason. They were getting that all ready to go. I haven't followed the story that closely after that.
There's an update that it's basically
relieved
a
to
done
hear
deal.
that they're close to getting it done. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Let's pay our officials, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, they're not going to disclose the agreement stuff here on either side because that's going to be part of this, but good enough for the refs to come back to the table.
Yes.
Do Cowboy fans enjoy seeing Stephen Jones saying they feel really good about the Micah Parsons trade and how it's all worked out?
No, probably not.
No?
I mean, he
They've
ended
gotten
up...
Kenny Clark,
Yeah.
2 first-round picks.
It hasn't been terrible, I'll say that.
Quinnen Williams.
And Parsons got hurt last year, too, which helped.
Malachi, yeah, that helped a lot. Malachi Lawrence, they ended up getting Devin Moore. So they've added some other defensive parts along the way. Like there's a case to be made that they've recovered from it because historically it was the worst defense maybe in their franchise's history.
Really bad. Drafting Caleb Downs is going to help right away.
Caleb Downs, also a really good player to be adding.
Dude.
I really like Malachi Lawrence. I think he's a stud. So
Idiots can stumble into success from time to time. I don't think it makes you feel good about like the organization and who's in charge, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't turn out to or can't turn out to be a net positive for them.
They tend to stumble into this from time to time.
They
They
do.
do something like, what are you doing? And then it's like, oh, it kind of worked for you.
They're not fully incompetent. They're not the worst ever to do it, but they're also pretty big idiots. I feel dirty saying it. I'm going to say it again. Make fun of me. Please, for the love of God, laugh in my face. Save this take. Write it down on a sticky note.
Okay.
Call me an idiot for the entirety of next football season.
You think they're winning the Super Bowl?
I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think they have a legitimate chance to win the NFC. Like, they're one of... I think they're loaded on offense. I think they got one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. Power rank.
Is he gonna stay healthy?
I don't know, but
That's
you
a
can
big
do that for
part.
anybody. I get that.
Well, with him specifically,
I get
feels
it.
like a
Power
pretty
rank
big
NFC quarterbacks for me.
Give me a second. Let me look up. I have to look at logos sometimes.
Stafford has to be number one. He just won the
Stafford's
MVP.
Yeah,
Who's two? I end my argument. Dak, like the NFC quarterback void.
You could go Caleb. Argument. I'm thinking right now. I got Goff. I got Caleb. I got Jordan Love.
Would you rather have Goff or Dak Prescott? Jordan Love or Dak Prescott? This is my point. If you put him in the AFC, nobody's taking him over Josh.
Prescott.
Nobody's taking.
Love beat Prescott.
He did. Well, that's the way it
NFL
works, right? Head-to-head win. That means
head-to-head.
it's over. It's done.
Right.
Like, come on.
You know,
man.
Mahomes will never be past Brady because
Sam
Brady
Darnold
beat Mahomes.
better than Matt Stafford. I don't care about his
Exactly,
MVP. Sam, I'd rather have Sam Darnold as my quarterback than the MVP of the league. Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, you're certainly making a fair point that he might be the second or third best quarterback in the conference.
His numbers are usually solid. I think you got a contract year coming out of Pickens.
So if
I think they've improved their defense.
If I gave you a really good, talented NFC roster and a good enough defense to get to an NFC title game, and I took Matt Stafford off the board, and I put all the other quarterbacks,
I don't know
what
if
they've
I'm
accomplished.
taking Dak, but Dak is in my he's.
Who would you take? Because you just told me who's better than him.
I'm just asking the questions, buddy. That's what I get paid to do. All I'm saying is he is in the mix of being the second best quarterback in the NFC. Because Caleb has 1 year essentially.
Yeah,
he's not I'm not saying he was bad his rookie year.
Do you trust
it? You know,
bump?
right?
Yeah.
Daniels was hurt and horrible. That didn't work out.
Another good name to bring back.
Remember when Jalen Hurts was the top 5 quarterback in the league? Now his team might move on from him after next season. So ain't nobody with a brain taking Jalen Hurts over Dak Prescott. I don't care about his Super Bowl.
Fair.
Jared Goff,
Brock Purdy?
I think Brock is solid. I don't know if I'm taking him over Dak Prescott. I think he's had a lot more to work with and a better coaching staff his entire career than Dak Prescott has. Dak Prescott's had multiple different head coaches. He's had pieces come and go.
Has Brock Purdy had a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb?
Probably not, no. But I would take play caller and collection of talent of
Over
Brock Purdy
multiple
over play
regimes.
caller. And
Yeah.
I mean, they hired a coach we all openly mocked last offseason.
I still kind of am.
And I don't blame you for it. And this is why I'm an idiot.
I love that they won 7 games and everybody's like, man, he was really good. I'm like, McCarthy literally.
He did that every year.
He had
got
3
into the
straight
playoffs
years
every
of
year.
getting to the playoffs and being 12-5 or whatever it was. It was like, what are we doing?
I am opening myself up to be made fun of, and I will allow it because I am one of those idiots that is currently believing in the Dallas Cowboys. Some of it is the belief in Caleb Downs being the best player in the draft and getting a steal at him, where 10 or 11, wherever they ended up getting him in the draft. I look at the division. I don't trust Philly, New York. Get out of here. Washington. Give me the Cowboys.
Final little note here. Not much to react to. Stephon Diggs found not guilty of strangulation of his personal chef.
Not a shock there.
All right. We have a lot more to get into. Bobby Marks at the top of the hour. Coming up next, somebody saying something that is going to lead my co-host to lose it. I'll tell you who it is and what they said next on 105.1 The Fan. Bobby Marks at the top of the hour. We got Stat or Story in the final hour. Welcome into a Hump Day edition. Sprague here on 105.1 The Fan.
I love the quarterback takes that come in. Nothing gets people. College football playoff stuff and quarterback takes. We're just getting everybody riled up this
I
morning.
wanted to have fun.
Jordan Love, there's no way Dak's better than Jordan Love. Dude, you feel free to
Jordan
have whatever.
Love beat him.
Jordan Love did beat him.
You're an idiot.
You know how many 30 touchdown passing seasons Jordan Love has in his career?
Well, Dak,
Not that that's the only metric that matters.
Dak
He's been a
does it
starter
in
longer.
garbage time. Doesn't count. Shut up. You don't know anything.
I love it, man. I love it. I can't wait for football to be
the
back.
NBA playoffs have kind of been a dud in the second round so far, and I saw
Yesterday
these football
kinda
notes,
sucked,
and I'm like, let's talk some football, man.
Nobody cares. Cleveland, Detroit, and the OKC game went kind of how we all thought it
We'll
would.
get back into basketball top of the hour. Talk
Fun
more
games tonight.
Yeah, and we'll talk our beloved Blazers with Bobby Marks coming up here at the top of the 8 a.m. hour. Stouter Story at 9 a.m. Very quickly want to pass along, this actually impacts me. And it kind of impacts everybody, but it impacts me, and I think other people out there like me. I grew up a nomad, didn't have a dad around, so it was like choose your own stuff in life.
Yeah, be a fan of whoever you want to be a fan of.
And one of those things for me was because they were on cable television, the Atlanta Braves are my favorite baseball team. Now, bandwagon fan, absolutely, but I love red. I always love the unis. Ted Turner's passed away at the age of 87.
R.I.P. Ted Turner, man.
Lived a great life.
Yes, he
Obviously, started CNN and the Superstation, and, without him, I don't have my baseball team.
24-hour news channels. Cubs and Braves will always be unique in that way, man.
Exactly.
The only two games that you could watch as a kid outside of Sunday Night Baseball or whatever random game of the week you had.
I want to get to what's going to piss you off, but I was thinking about this, coincidentally, over the weekend.
Such a smart move for him, dude. He dominates an entire region of the country.
Well, the Braves were in Colorado before the Mariners series, and I was watching all the games, and it's a Brave home game.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot. When I went to the Mariner game in 2023 or 22, dude, it was maybe 45% Brave fan. It's red everywhere.
Yes.
Are they a top 5 most popular baseball team? And largely because of this man.
Without a doubt.
So I went Yankees. One.
Yankees, yeah.
Red Sox.
Yeah, Cubs.
Cubs have to be in this. The Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, I know there's a lot
here.
of Dodger fans. I'd be willing. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb here. I feel like there's more Braves fans than Dodger fans nationwide.
They have an entire region because the Florida teams largely never existed, and all the other states don't have teams.
Nobody cares about the Florida teams. Even in Florida, nobody cares about them. So I've been to a Braves game. We went when Oregon went and got mollywopped by Georgia. We went to a Braves game, and it was a ton of fun. New stadium's awesome. The whole ballpark scene and area around it's sweet. One of the biggest things that stood out to me was you're having some pops. We're out there having a good time. Me and the brand man were. And you end up having random conversations, different people. You're walking back to the hotel drunk from a baseball game, whatever. What shocked me was how many people from random areas around the South were just driving in for the weekend to watch the Braves play.
Yeah.
Like every other person we talked to that night at a bar or on the walk or whatever, we drove up from Alabama. Oh, we drove over from Mississippi. Oh, we came from Louisiana. Like everybody in the South is a diehard Braves fan. That entire region loves that team. And so you have a pocket in that regard that you don't really have for other teams in the entire sport. It doesn't really exist. You do have nationwide Yankee, Red Sox, Cub fan. Like, I agree with all that. And I know there's a lot of Dodger fans out there. But, yeah, I don't think it's a debate that the Braves are in the top 5.
So R.I.P. Ted Turner, 87. Gunned down his prime.
Right when he was getting going.
Before we get Bobby Marks coming up top of the hour, so one of your favorite staples of your life, and I know this about you, is when you decide to travel and fly out of Oregon, you are a classic, I'm traveling, here's how I show you, beer at airport guy.
Ah, yeah, I love a good beer at the airport photo.
You ever flown Ryanair?
Ryanair?
Ryanair.
Does our boss have an airline? Is it Ryan Reynolds? What's going on here?
No, Ryanair is a real airline.
So it's RYAN
Air.
space air.
One word.
One word together.
Ryanair.
Ryanair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their CEO's name is Michael O'Leary. O'Leary having a really bad run in the news right now. See state of Utah.
Let's get another data center in there.
Let's just...
Who needs water and energy?
Let's destroy the state of Utah. It's already going bad for their environment. Let's just give all of the energy to a data center.
AI, steal our jobs.
Michael O'Leary has called for an outright ban on early morning pre-flight pints at airport bars.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
Saying, quote, he fails to understand why anybody is served beer at 5 or 6 a.m. and he wants alcohol sales restricted to normal business hours. He wants a 2-drink limit per passenger, and he doesn't get why airports are profiteering by pushing early booze and exporting the chaos to airlines. Quote, drunks shouldn't be allowed to board in the first place. Stop selling alcohol on board, not just early morning. All alcohol should be banned at the airport and on the plane.
I got 2 takeaways here. One, don't infringe on my rights. These are my rights. And if I want to drink a beer at 5 a.m. before I jump on a flight, that's my God-given American right that I can drink that beer at 5 a.m. Number 2, this is probably why I've never heard of your stupid airline. Who's ever flown Ryanair? Do we have a single person alive listening right now that has flown a Ryanair flight? This sounds made up. I don't even think this is a real thing.
It is.
I think you're butt-cracking me right now.
I'm not. This is a real thing. Look it up.
This is Travis Kelce at the Met
Official
Gala.
Ryanair website.
They have a website?
Cheap flights in Europe. It's a European-based company.
I mean, that's not even that big of a deal, boozing over there like it is over here, I feel like, although maybe that's wrong. This is dumb. Like, one of the best perks about going on vacation is that all rules of society go out the window. Like, that's one of the on a Tuesday, I can't just, I mean, I guess I technically could, but I'm not just drinking an IPA in the studio at 7:15. But if I'm on vacation, there are no rules.
You know that I have not drank alcohol in a while.
No, you've not.
I will forever advocate. And it's not like I'm not against alcohol. I just, for personal choice, just not done it. I will advocate super hard because I have had a morning early flight airport beer.
Yeah, it feels great.
It's an amazing feeling.
It's like it's like a Wild West. It's lawless. Yeah, I can do what I want.
It's the closest feeling you can get back to being a teenager sneaking alcohol.
Oh, God.
It's like, wait a minute, I'm drinking this and it's 6:30 in the morning? Like when we left to Vietnam, we flew to Seattle. We had a super early morning flight.
God, that sucks to go to Seattle and then go on a
Well, you had to load up on the Big Bird.
Yeah, you got to get on the Big Bird.
So we had to go to Seattle for like a 2-hour layover. When I went to Alaska, I had to stop in Seattle. And both times, guess what I did?
What are you going to do?
It was 7:15 in the morning. Huh. I went and I sat at the bar and I had a morning beer.
That's what you do.
And there was something very like, I don't know if this bird's going to land safely, but yeah, doesn't matter. This is great.
Now you're a little more loosey-goosey, huh?
It made me feel a lot better. I'll say that much.
The drunkest flight I've ever had for sure probably was when me, you, and Coog Lutz went to Vegas. We had a really good time. I feel like our flight was delayed. We spent a lot of time at the airport bar.
We were at the Henry's.
We also went to a bar before going to the airport. We did a bar and then went to the airport bar and then had drinks, I think, on the plane.
I think we did Red Robin.
Yes, we did.
Right, because it's the airport
over by IKEA. It was over in that IKEA. We were like, let's go to Red Robin.
Got a couple cocktails there. Then we went to the bar. We were early, and we were like, there's Henry's.
Might as well hang out here for a little bit.
And by Henry's, I was
lit like a Christmas tree, man.
I was flying.
I felt good.
Then we got on the flight. Got another drink.
Now I'm bumping my tunes in my headset. I'm ready to go win some money on a blackjack table. Now I'm in the zone, man.
Dude. And then we landed safely in Vegas and got a limousine taking us to the hotel. Felt great.
What are we doing here, man? One of the big perks of vacation, the rules go out the window. Have beers whenever you want. It's like a golf beer. It doesn't really count even if it's at 6:30 in the morning. It's allowable because there are no rules in these spots. Ryanair needs to sit down and shut up, know his place.
You want to hold a limit. I'm fine with that. You can't say I can't have any at all.
No.
No. 2 max? All right, I'll be open-minded with that.
Get out of here.
At 7 a.m., I get it.
Get out of here.
But let me have an airport beer.
4
Four
max. That's fine. I'll allow that. Anything less than that, I'm filing a lawsuit.
Remember this next time you see Ryanair as a flying option.
If I'm ever in Europe, I'm not flying Ryanair. You're banned for life from me.
Loaded third hour of the radio program. Let's kick it off. Bobby Marks of ESPN. What does he think about the Blazers, the Denny Avdia contract looming, and the NBA playoffs? We kick off the third hour. Bobby Marks of ESPN, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
Hey, guys.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night to start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for the OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James, 27 points and 6 assists in the loss. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren with a double-double, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2s for both of those series are tomorrow. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado's still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your hump days are off to a good start. We got a ton to get to over the next 2 hours. An anonymous survey out of the NBA. What guys from Portland show up on the list? We got Saturday Story coming up in the final hour, and the good playoff series happened tonight in the association. We'll get to all that over the next 2 hours of the show. Excited for this one, though. One of our favorites and a guy who can help explain a lot of stuff to us is our friend Bobby Marks from ESPN, at BobbyMarks42 on Twitter. You can go give him a follow there. Bobby, good morning to you. How annoying is it in your life of people throwing random trade scenarios at you? And does it get frustrating to never have that probably stop?
I don't pay attention to it anymore. I mean, I can pop on TV and see Jaylen Brown for Giannis this morning, and I'm like, oh, my God, what are we doing here? So, yeah, I just kind of – listen, I think my goal is just to give you the rules, and if it works and if it doesn't work, and give you a synopsis. And I would say that 97% of the trades that are out there probably aren't true. So it's all good though. We all work in an entertainment business, so I totally get it. Comes with part of it.
Yeah. Well, I was more curious too earlier because we were talking about the scenario for you, like the last time, or how often does it happen if you're at like a local coffee shop, you
standing
haven't gotten
in line,
the coffee yet,
guy behind you. Hey, Bobby. By the way, Giannis for 4 first-round picks. Who says no?
You know, it's funny. I had it happen to me. I had it happen at a urinal in Atlanta airport. I was in there and I had a guy like look at me and he like did a double take, you know, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, just ask the question, you know, like just ask the question and stuff like that. So,
do you remember the trade he threw at you?
I don't even know.
No,
I don't think he was a Hawks fan. I think he might have been just passing through and stuff like that. I was in the Orlando airport last night. I was walking through the food court and the guy was like, "Hey, are you?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you have a trade for me?" You know.
It's fantastic. No, wait. Oh my God,
good.
That's so good.
You've opened this door, so this is your fault for what I'm about to ask you. Were you midstream as he's eyeing you and asking you a trade? Like this
I think I had just approached the urinal, so
okay.
I think I was not. So
that's fantastic.
It would have been legendary if you just turned, he says this, and you go, yeah, it's real and it's spectacular, and then you just walked away.
That is so funny. Are you Bobby Marks? ESPN is our guest. So I watched your video. You do these recap videos for the end when teams get eliminated. The Blazers get eliminated, and I'm hoping that you can. We're idiots, Bobby. We need your help here, okay? So. You were explaining in detail the Denny Avdia contract situation.
Yeah,
There's kind of a belief here of like, well, he's got to get paid this offseason. The Blazers are going to give it to him, and you're saying not so fast, right? So can you explain why? And then does that change at all if he makes an All NBA team this year or next year?
It doesn't. No,
okay.
it does. I mean, I think the hard thing with his contract is so good. That's the big problem is that Denny. Denny signs that rookie extension with the Wizards. Is actually declining here. Yes, he's extension eligible, I think, in October. And he can extend. He's got 2 years left, and he can extend for 3 years or more. However, because of the rules, he can only extend for 140% of the average player's salary. So, like, let's say ballpark, the total is like $67 million. That would get tacked on. That's the maximum. The only way the only way you can really get around that is if somehow Portland opens up a boatload of cap space and you can kind of renegotiate the contract. So basically you kind of boost it up there, and that takes with some roster maneuvering also. Now the problem is also, like, you get into next offseason, you're basically going to be in the same position but it's 4 years and at like, I don't know, let's say like $90 million, $90+ million. That's still, I think, a little bit probably below market for him. But he knows he has to make the decision if he wants to take guaranteed money. So basically what happened is that it's one or two things. The renegotiation route, as I explained, but that costs, getting off some money. And then or the other thing is basically having a handshake agreement that there's a deal waiting for you when you become a free agent in 2028, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
He's an interesting player for us because he's had a great year.
Yeah.
He led them in many ways. He was their only offense at times, and he made an all-star team. We'll have to wait to see on All-NBA. I'm kind of curious, just your general synopsis. You talk about the contract element of it, but also like when you get to 2028, let's say there's a wink and a nod of a deal. Like, is he the kind of player there's a certain limit you're willing to do versus like the traditional, well, no, he was a really good player, we got to max him out here. Like, how do you view Denny Avdia in that light?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, certainly, as we, 2 years from now, the money will get significantly higher just because the cap will increase and everything like that. So if you're looking, I'm just pulling him up. So if you're looking at him in 2028, he would be eligible for, as a free agent, 5 for $316.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of money.
You go from a $12 million player to a $55 million player. So how do you meet? So how do you get in a meet in the middle and everything like that? And that's why, as I said, like, he's not going to sign for $21 million per year. So what is the number? Is it in the high 30s, 40s, is it low 40s? So I always say max contracts are based on circumstances, and always the market has to create teams that are interested. But as I said, like, he's a heck of a player. He's he's found a home. He's 25 right now, so he's not even in the prime of his career yet. I think there's still some growth for him and everything like that. But they've got a really nice building block to build around. And as I said, you got to take advantage of those 2 years that he's got left on his contract to add pieces when that salary is so low.
Yeah, people have pointed out for Portland next year, it's kind of unique. Denny and Dame might be their two best players, and they're making like $25 combined million. It's kind of an oddity in the modern NBA.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. It's like, Victor in San Antonio. Victor will go and when you're on those rookie contracts or when you're on a really team-friendly deals and stuff like that, you can do a lot of good things with it.
Well, I'm on that note, we're talking about Bobby Marks, ESPN front office insider for NBA front office insider for ESPN. I got that the wrong way. And former assistant GM of the Brooklyn Nets, Bobby Marks 42 on Twitter. I'm curious to ask you, Bobby, like, you working for the Nets, you went around a bunch of different NBA organizations. Mm-hmm. You've seen and come across a lot of unique and different owners, I'm sure. Some better than others, some with weird stories, some with good people, like I'm sure runs the gamut. There's a lot of noise in Portland. We have a new owner here, and there's allegations getting thrown out about a cheapness and paying for things or not paying for things, and I don't know how much inside of that you are. I'm just curious what you make of that, the kind of the way this is being talked about in NBA circles, and the outlook of having a new leader in charge here of our organization.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I've been part of 4 different ownership groups in my time in New Jersey / Brooklyn. They're all different uniqueness about them, I would say. Certainly, I would equate kind of the ownership group now similar to the second group, which was the Yankee Nets guys. And with that came Lou Lamoriello, who was the GM, president of the Devils. So we had a hockey guy that came in, and certainly with Tom, who's with Carolina and has a hockey team. And I could say with Lou, having the hockey background, he was awesome for us as far as basically protecting the brand as far as from a basketball operations. I said this on TV a couple weeks ago. When somebody buys a team, the commissioner doesn't give you a manual on how to run it. You're really kind of learning. You're learning on the fly. You're learning all these different rules. You're learning the intricacies of your front office and what comes with it. What's true, what's not true. I know Joe came out and said it was his call not to, bring the two-way guys and stuff like that. And we'll respect what he said there and everything like that. But owners are always a wild card too, man. Like, you go to like Phoenix with Matt Ishbia and he comes in and boom, Durant and Beal, right? And now you're kind of, spinning the wheels and you're set back. So you have to be kind of cautious as far as you really have to. You got to trust you got to trust your front office. You got to trust your business people, the people that you have empowered to be in charge of the organization. And then you have the final say as far as from a financial angle, what makes sense and what doesn't. So it is a unique situation. And as I said, the ownership is always, they're always wild cards, and especially new owners that are in this.
Yeah. The things that have been rumored about him, I'm curious. I know people in the NBA like to text other people and colleagues and whatnot and talk off the record. I'm just kind of curious your thoughts of all the stuff being thrown out. One big thing is the coaching salary stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know what to make of it. And there's reporting that he offered Mike Malone $4.5 million, and then there's everybody saying he wants to pay $1 million, and Doug Christie's the lowest at $2 million. So, just the most concerning thing that you think you've heard that he's either going to learn the hard way or the organization's going to suffer as he learns through it?
I think it's the salary part. I mean, there's a couple of things. I always say this, like the biggest asset owners have in this day and age of the salary cap and apron, and you got to go by the rules, is the resources that they can provide an organization outside of player salaries here, whether it be everything that comes with it, with where you stay and how you're compensated with your coaching staff or your front office, and the ability to add people to it, and how you travel and what you eat on the plane and everything. Like that is an ownership thing there. That's basically controlled by that. So I would say that, the salary part, as far as what was offered, Tiago, was it $1 million? Was it $1.5 million? Like that's below the market. Like it may work in Carolina or maybe some of these other NHL organizations here, but to get a top-notch coach, you're going to have to pay. I mean, that's the reality of it here. We've seen it at every situation here. And what happened is if you don't, and you get a guy at $1 million, $1.5 million, they're going to they'll probably 3 years from now move on to another organization and everything. So I think that's the biggest, concern with that. But you kind of learn through it, and you take bows and arrows and stuff like that. And we'll see what happens at head coach.
Yeah. What do you make just on that last one? And I do have some roster questions for you, but just the idea that conducting a coaching search, because Portland's in a very unique circumstance, right? Like Chauncey Billups getting arrested one day into the NBA season was weird and unique, and it's a day Blazer fans will never forget. So we have an interim coach who's not the full-time head coach. Chauncey still hasn't technically been fired. I think that's more of an NBA thing they're waiting on, but they've been going through this coaching search kind of privately, but it's become public of just how disrespectful is that to Tiago Splitter? Is it okay because he's an interim? That's kind of uncharted waters for us.
I think it's almost like you're dating but we're not married, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know what the unwritten rule is there. I mean,
it's okay to swipe right on Twitter still because we're not married yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're not living, but you're still living in the same house, right? So like it's. I think you could do your due diligence. Listen, if they feel like he's not the right guy and they feel like there's somebody else out there, then I think you can go look at it. Whoever, whether it be Tibbs or some of these other coaches that are available here. But I think what you have to be careful with is I think this is somewhat of it's not a rebuild anymore. We throw that out the window, and I don't know if it's quite yet a win now roster. You're trending towards that. Mm-hmm. You got to get the right guy. That's going to be important. And Tiago's been through it with these guys. They've lived through a ton of adversity, and you guys know that firsthand as far as what happened early in the season here, and he earned his stripes. I think during the playoffs, certainly there's probably some things you'd want to be done differently as far as maybe some rotations and some guys who played and who didn't play. But I do think there's a familiarity as far as with that group, and I think sometimes you don't get that when you kind of look outside of your own home.
We'll ask you not random, but roster questions here, Bobby. But one last random question to kind of throw at you is we have a lot of media members in our market that are, if they're not covering the team, they're constantly fear-mongering about the team. And the NBA relocated the Seattle Supersonics to Oklahoma City years and years ago. I'm just kind of curious. That gets thrown out. We're in the middle of trying to get more money from the city and the local governments for renovations of the Moda Center. Just your thoughts on how the NBA views relocation in itself, given what they went through in 2008, And then the Blazers being one of these teams highly talked about by local scribes of, this is a fear, this is real, it could happen.
I think if you're in Portland, I think the ability, I think expansion should damper any thinking of relocation as far as the ability to bring in two teams with whether it be Las Vegas, I guess Las Vegas and Seattle here. I don't see an appetite. All of a sudden now we're going to be looking at a relocation like what happened with Vancouver to Memphis and Seattle to Oklahoma City here. I mean, you go and look at the crowds you had. Portland's a great city for basketball and everything, and I think having that one big pro team there, I think the support is there. And yeah, I know I get the arena part of it, and that's a big component of it here. But I would probably sleep a little bit better knowing that that the expansion part of it is probably the big to do on the NBA's list.
Yeah, couldn't have happened a better time for us, Seattle and Vegas. Come on down, and in our time frame too, or in our region of the country, that helps. Bobby Marks is our guest. Bobby Marks 42 on Twitter, ESPN NBA front office insider. Now on the roster, you went over this in your end of season video, and people can find that on your Twitter. You posted it, and your end of the season article on ESPN.com. When you look at this roster, you mentioned they've taken this step, right? It's competing. You were a 7 seed. Like, it's clearly a right direction year for them, but there's also a lot of questions because some of your key guys are aging. Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard at the back end of their careers. Some guys who you were hoping to have bigger years. Scoot Shaden had moments and flashes, but not great. If you're behind the scenes of this organization right now, I guess how would you view this offseason? Because there's a kind of push of like, man, we got all these draft picks, we got these Milwaukee swaps. There's a lot of ammunition in our chamber right now that we could go get something done. Would you view it as this is the offseason to like, let's strike while the iron's hot, give it another year? I'm just curious your thoughts on what their offseason would look like.
Yeah, I mean, I think you certainly mentioned the ability to controlling the Bucks picks that was from the Lillard trade and everything. I think that gives you don't have a first this year, but you're really in good shape in future years here. And there's an opportunity. I always say the hardest thing for organization is taking that next step, right? You go from a team that won 42 games and you get in the playoffs. You hadn't been there. Now, like, what's next? Like getting over, instead of just being a play-in team, a team that can contend, for a top 5 or top 6 seed and everything like that. And you have the pieces, and two of your older players, whether it be Drew, who's got 2 years, and Jeremy Grant, who's got 2 years, and then you've got your. I almost equate them a little bit like how Indiana had set up their books. The year they went to the finals, where you had Siakam and Halbert, and then you had everyone else making less than $20 million. You're in really good shape there. Now, you have to determine, is it with our own group? Is there another step that this group can take, or is it going to be someone from help from the outside here? And what does that mean? So, I always, the market will open up. Well, I'm sure we'll hear about Giannis more, and we'll hear about some of these other players that potentially could be available. And I think if you're not totally gutting what you have, I do think this organization is going to be aggressive looking at outside of their own group that's coming back.
How difficult or exciting is it, I think, from a general manager eye or standpoint, to try to build a roster that competes with what we saw last night at OKC and what we can see with Ant Edwards playing, or San Antonio, which we experienced firsthand? What is that like, I guess, from the vantage point of a Joe Cronin, to try to build a roster out that's like, what is the best way to compete against those guys?
It is exciting. I think it is. Listen, the Oklahoma City's built, and they're built for the long haul. And probably, San Antonio, the West is the West. The West will always be pretty dominant and stuff like that. So it is exciting. I think you just have to be cautious that you don't want the one move to backfire on you, and now you're kind of, back in where some of these teams who are in the lottery, consistently in the lottery, have, whether it be Utah or Utah will be better, but Sacramento and teams like that. But you've got, you're not backed up in a corner, as you've talked about with the draft picks and the contracts, to go out and do something here. So I do think there's a level of excitement there, but I do also, as I said, you have to kind of caution as far as not making the wrong move.
Yeah. Last one I got for you, Bobby. I'm curious. We saw in the NFL a couple years ago, the Deshaun Watson contract got handed out by Cleveland, fully guaranteed, and everybody. They kind of became like a lead-wide collusion of like, we're never going to let that happen again. I'm wondering, because some of these names that get thrown out for Portland this offseason, it's like it's going to cost how much to get them? Will there be any sort of come back down on the market after Desmond Bane went for 5 first-round picks and Orlando got bounced in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, trades are just circumstantial. Like Mikal Bridges, right? Like it's based on sometimes teams view players a little bit higher than other teams do, and they look at his contract and they look at him under contract for 3 or 4 more years and him fit, and they think, I always said this. I said this in Brooklyn when I worked in Brooklyn in New Jersey. Like, there's always a sense of arrogance when you work in a front office that you always think you're going to be good. And the cost of what you're doing this summer, okay, that's, in 2029, that's in 2031. And then you kind of lose a little bit of sight as far as of the now, and then you're stuck, and then you don't have the picks to get out of the mess that you've been in until you have to trade your own players and stuff like that. So but there'll always be another team. There'll be another team out there this summer, probably trades 4 first-round picks for maybe not an all-star, all-NBA type player, but a pretty good player.
Yeah. Bobby Marks, we love the insight. At Bobby Marks42 on Twitter, ESPN NBA front office insider. Always appreciate the time, man. Keep up the great work. I'm sure we'll try and reach out to you at some point in the offseason, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Bobby Marks of
ESPN.
That, great stuff.
Good stuff from Bobby there.
He's one of the best. He can get into the nitty-gritty. The contract stuff is fascinating to me because that's kind of a thing of like, well, Denny's going to get an extension this offseason. It ain't happening.
5-3-16. He's waiting for the 5-3-16.
I mean, right now, literally all he can sign, what did he say, 3 for 60 and next
60.
year's 4 for 90? Like,
Yeah,
he's not
waiting.
signing that. He's waiting 2 more years.
He's waiting for free agency.
Yes.
He wants the max.
Can you capitalize on that? Lots to react to there. We also have the anonymous survey that came out from the NBA. What Blazers fall on the list in a good or a bad way. We'll tell you who they were, and we'll get into that next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night to start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James, 27 points and 6 assists in the loss. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren, a double-double, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2 for both series are tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. And in MLB news, former longtime owner of the Atlanta Braves, Ted Turner, passed away today at the age of 87. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
All right, welcome back, King. Great stuff from Bobby Marks. If you were taking a leak next to him in an airport bathroom, would you throw a trade at him? All right, Bobby, just real quick. Shaden, Jeremy Grant, 2 first-round picks. Is that enough for Trey Murphy? What do you think? You think they say yes
Just
to that, Bobby?
midstream,
Bobby.
dead silence, staring straight at the wall.
All right, that one's not good. How about this one? How about Drew Holiday? A second-round pick for Kevin Durant. What do you think? You think they'll do it?
I think he turns and just pisses on your shoes. Leave me alone.
God, stop it, dude. Stop it. It's like
Starts
when
that
we get
puddle on the ground next to him.
now you're standing in the puddle. It's like we'll randomly get, not all the time, but occasionally people are like, do you ever get tickets to this? And you're like, no. I mean, there are times we get available tickets, but that's not you. You get tickets to the Blazer playoff game? No.
I've had people ask me if I get backstage passes to
concerts and stuff.
Taylor Swift. I'm like, no, that's not how any of this works.
Not how that works, man. I wish it was. And if it was, I'd be using them and I wouldn't be giving them to you.
I can't get you in the front of Demi Lovato's concert.
No.
I'm sorry.
Deal says shake twice for yes. Shake twice if it's... Ooh, we got a
flush,
deal.
no flush, Bobby.
We got a deal, Bobby.
Flush if you take this deal.
We got a deal. So good stuff from him, kind of explaining the Denny Avdia contract situation and just what they're in store for. Hopefully, calming news from Bobby about the idea of the Blazers relocating. I know the majority of our audience does not give much credence to those rumors. Not rumors isn't even a fair word for them. The fear-mongering that exists from some in the media. But it doesn't make any sense to us. They're not moving to Seattle, and if they don't move to Seattle, why would the NBA want when they're trying to balance the conferences? It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, the state's going to put pressure on the city. They'll eventually pass the funding, and you'll get your $600 million, and we'll go from there. I don't think they're moving. They're not going anywhere. This was interesting on anything else from Marks you wanted to react to?
No, I mean, I think he actually highlights a pretty honest reaction here. Now, some people might think Denny's going to take the next leap, right? Like that's one of the bigger questions of the offseason. The coach is important, right? Is Joe Cronin staying here? Do they make a trade? All of that is very huge and fair to be wondering. How much better is Denny going to get?
What's the ceiling for Denny?
Is he just going to be downhill Denny his whole career, who really isn't the most lethal of weapons? We'll get to the NBA player poll on Denny Avdia because I don't know if it's going to be shocking to find out what he ranks in for players. But what is the step? Is it truly I'm a triple-double machine who is going to make you feel like I'm legitimately a 1?
Yeah.
Right?
Like an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Like a guy who's legitimately in the mix and getting, I was 7th in MVP voting this year.
Yes.
Not going to win the award. That won't happen.
Well, Dame one year, I think, got 3rd?
That's the point. In 1 year, he rose to that level.
And so I think that's a big thing for them. And I highlighted something that I've been thinking about. We might be 2 years away, so we'll get a real runway of evidence here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get $316, but if he's eligible for $16 million over 5 years.
He's taking every penny of that deal.
Well, I mean, is he one of those players? Because I threw that at Bobby, and Bobby had, I thought, a reaction of
As of now, the answer is incomplete. And that's why Portland's in a good spot in that case. Because to your point and Bobby's point, you got 2 more years to feel this out. Yeah. If he is the same player the next 2 years, nothing changes.
I'm saying no.
I'm saying no, too.
I'm saying hell no. Yeah. An unequivocal no.
If we're looking at certain guys around the league and saying, I don't want to trade for you because the contract is so big, having a guy who was a very good player, a high-end player in the NBA, but somewhat limited in certain ways offensively.
That's $63.2 million a year.
It's a lot of money, man. That's a huge chunk of your salary cap.
On average, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, so that's a massive commitment financially.
That's we're still a year or 2 from that, but just interesting to think about how players and people like Bobby Marks who are pretty smart, there's obviously I think this of him, but like what is the threshold upper echelon version of it? We still don't know. We have to wait and see. But I think right now you'd get almost a unanimous 5-3-16.
Not yet. No, not yet. No. And to his credit, last year we were asking the season, and you go back 365 days ago, it was, okay, he was terrible in the first half of the year, elite in the second half of the year. And what Denny Avdia will show up? And we now have our answer. We have a full season of good Denny Avdia, very good Denny Avdia. And now I think the question has transitioned from that to, can he take is there another gear here that you can kick it into? He's only 25 years old. He seems like a guy who takes his craft very seriously.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten better every year, like he's improving, so there's no reason he can't get there.
Yeah.
But I do think in order to get to that financial status, there is another element or another gear that he's got to kick it into.
Yep.
On the Denny Avdia front, The Athletic released this. Whenever you get these, it's just great. I love anonymous polls because you get honest opinions from people. Some of it's dumb, some of it you laugh at, some of it seems petty, and some of it is just hilarious. So the Athletic put together a anonymous poll around the NBA for NBA players. So they released this questionnaire to a bunch of NBA players. I think it was 151 or 161 players.
4 to 5 things that they were asked about.
Yeah, just very generic, and you name kind of whoever you want. I don't know if they gave them options like multiple choice. Probably not, just fill in the blank. And one of the questions, we'll go through some of these. Some of them shine a light positively on Blazers, others not so much. They asked, who is the league's most underrated player? Out of 151 votes, 2 players tied for first, and that was Jalen Johnson and Derek White. Do we agree with the player assessment?
Derek White had a little bit of a dip offensively, I thought, this year, especially come the postseason time. But, yeah, I'm not mad at those 2 options. Jalen Johnson he flew under the radar all year until Atlanta got hot.
Yeah.
And then he became a name that, Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
I'll watch this guy in the playoffs. We know what Derek White's value is and what he can mean to a team in winning. So, no, I'm not really that upset about underrated players.
It's obviously a small vote total. They only got 4% of the vote because everybody's throwing out a random name that comes to mind.
I think to your point,
right?
Yeah, there's not like a poll. It's just write down who you think the most underrated player is.
Then there are 4 guys who showed up tied for second at just over 3%, so do the math on however many votes that is. Those 4 guys are Jaylen Brown in Boston, who we talked about leading as the number 1 guy this year.
He seems to want his own team.
Maybe he does. I have odds on that, by the way, in a moment. Peyton Pritchard out of Boston.
Fast PP.
Yep. Right there. Austin Reeves, our guy who can't make a shot to save his life in the playoffs currently.
Very good player. He needs to get it going.
Showing up. And how does the NBA feel about a Portland Trailblazer? Let me tell you, Drew Holiday tied for the second most votes total in this category of most underrated player in the NBA.
And I would agree with this. Like Derek White kind of falls into the same thing here. This isn't just about raw skill, talent that way. It's also about impact, locker room leadership. Like, I think people do view Drew Holiday, obviously a stud basketball player, one of the best perimeter defenders in league history, but also he just seemingly, it's weird, everywhere he goes, they end up getting better.
Get better.
And Boston wins the title, Milwaukee wins the title.
Yeah, it was a funny reminder to me throughout the year watching and now seeing how we feel as a city, and mark my words, this will happen whatever we do this offseason, of the takeaways and thoughts when that trade initially went down to how people feel about Drew Holiday now.
I wasn't mad that they moved on from Ant. I was more concerned about the contract of Drew Holiday.
And it's still a fear.
His last year in Boston wasn't particularly the most inspiring.
No.
We also don't know if he's going to be a Blazer next year.
We do not.
He might be somebody traded.
But I think based on this and what he was able to do behind the scenes and on the floor, like his impact was felt significantly more in one season so far than Anthony Simons ever was.
Yeah.
in Portland. Shaden Sharp, by the way, also got a couple of votes on this list. So
yeah,
he
he's
showed
tied
up
for Cooper Flagg.
as the most underrated player in the NBA. So somebody has a Shaden Sharp head out there. Don't move on from him.
Don't think we feel great about that, by the way.
Let's go to the other category. This is the negative side. Most overrated player in the NBA. There was a runaway freight train for first place on this one. Not a staggered list. Most overrated player, according to NBA players, Şengün in Houston.
Alperen Şengün.
12% of the vote. Yeah. That is a overwhelming number. Next highest was Rudy Gobert and Trae Young at 8.6%, and then Karl Anthony Towns at 7.4%.
Yeah, look, a lot of this, it's player-led, right? This is largely driven, and you could say this for the underrated versus overrated too, but it's funny how these shake out. Like, Şengün, I can get with it. I think he's a very good player. I do think he's a bit overrated. He bitches and moans as much, if not more, than any player in the league for foul calls. I actually thought he had a really bad series against the Lakers. He should have had way better numbers than he had.
This was like the step up year and be a guy year, and they still lost in the first round.
Rudy Gobert, I mean, how is he overrated? He's exactly who he is.
Is
He's
it the depoys?
Why? What would you be mad about? He's a legitimate depoy.
I know.
Not just because he's won it.
Isn't it rare? Like, what has he got, 3 in his career?
Yes.
It's a pretty rarefied air. I'm trying to find an answer.
You know, even Karl Anthony Towns, I'd say, like, I get it. He talks a lot of mess, and he has some real no-shows. Overrated?
Yeah.
I find some of these are odd to me, but yeah, whatever. Beefs are going to be beefs.
That is certainly, there's always an edge to this, right? There is a Blazer who shows up in the most overrated category. We'll get to that on the other side. There's also some questions about coaches.
Yeah, the coach one's...
it's interesting, right?
There's a coach on this list that's overrated or like least impressive, and I'm like, why is that guy on this list?
That guy, and then praise for one guy on one side of the ball. So some more Blazers showing up on this list. We'll continue on that front. And then also we have our Portland Fire making their debut this weekend. So a lot of people...
Well, their regular season
debut.
First inaugural season.
This is when it counts now. Now it's real.
They had 13,500 people show up for a preseason game.
Incredible number, dude. The numbers are going to be great. It's going to kill in Portland. You know why? We love basketball here, man.
Yep.
And we support women's sports. So it's 2 for 2. We have Portland Fire players trying to... pronounce things around the city, which is always a fun experiment to have. So
we'll play C.J. McCollum, Willamette.
Willamette. We'll have some fun with that audio. Finish off the the NBA player survey. And that is coming up next. 105.1 FM The Fan. Rick rolling our way into the final hour of the show. Welcome back, everybody. 8:45.
This guy's white.
Rick Astley, man. He's white.
Did he have no more songs?
I don't know enough about Never Gonna Give You Up, my man Rick. I'm assuming he only had one. This is a rare moment. We're missing Jason Swigard here. If anybody can answer that question, Jason Swigard can answer that question.
Well, he obviously never had a banger.
No.
The level of Never Gonna Give You Up.
No.
But, did he have any other bangers?
He is 60 years old.
Holy hell, man. I mean,
you'd never seen Rick Astley before?
No, I'd seen the music video for that song. It's just
Okay.
crazy to Google image and see him at 60 and then, hear the voice. Because he doesn't have a white guy singing voice.
No, he
Let's
does
just
not.
call a spade, all right?
Let's see what Google AI says. It says, yes, he did have several major hits beyond Never Gonna Give You Up, particularly in the 1980s.
He had one, Take Me to Your Heart.
Yeah, Together Forever hit number 1 in the U.S. She Wants to Dance with Me
bangers,
whenever you need somebody, and Cry for Help. All 14 charted singles.
Would you pay to see Rick Astley, or
No.
if you
God, no.
you were given tickets? You'd
God,
go?
no. I don't even think I would go if you gave me free tickets.
Really? You wouldn't want to see him Never Gonna Give You Up live at 60 years old?
What am I going to do with that? I tell people, do I brag about that? That's a night out.
That's not a brag. It's just something to do. I don't know.
Would I rather be on my couch watching TV? Probably.
Never Gonna Give You
Now I got to go deal with traffic. Now I got to find a place to park. How much is beer costing? I got to wait in line.
Rick Astley got like smoker's lung at 60. Never Gonna Give
You can't get through the whole song anymore.
Hold on.
I mean, it is a jam. Every time it comes on, I'll dance to it.
Oh, it's a great tune.
Some thoughts are coming in on Denny, and I want to get to those in a moment because we were mentioning the contract and what it might look like.
Yeah.
So on the most overrated player, we're going through the Athletic. They came out with a player survey around the NBA. Random anonymous survey, NBA players voting on different topics. One of the most overrated players, Şengün, was number 1. We mentioned Gobert, Trae Young, and Karl Anthony Towns showed up next on the list. You know who is 7th on this list? Our guy Turbo.
Yeah.
Our guy Downhill Denny.
Yeah.
The only players who are more overrated, according to NBA players, than Denny Avdia are Ja Morant, Paolo Banchero, and then the other names that I mentioned. So
Well, he's also tied with
showed up on that list.
Luka Doncic.
He is, so maybe that makes you feel good. Scotty Barnes also in there, and Pascal Siakam also in there.
How is Siakam overrated?
I don't know. Like,
weird. These people have weird beefs. Like, how is Dylan Brooks not higher?
Yeah. He is next. He's in the next category of guys who got some votes.
Dylan Brooks are looked at as the same overrated.
It's funny because, and I'm just not in the same bubble as the NBA circles.
The NBA Finals last year. What
It
are we
was
doing
really good
here?
It's just funny, like when Scotty Barnes is on this list, and I'm thinking to myself, how is Scotty Barnes rated to be overrated?
I mean, he's
Like,
a high
Scotty
draft
Barnes is a
pick.
good player.
The Raptors were a good story this year.
I don't ever hear him in conversations though of like.
It's because people don't talk about the Raptors.
No, they don't. Even though they are the North, like Banchero, I could get. I see your
Evan
points
Mobley, I'd vote Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley's probably a good one.
He has not developed in any way the way I
Offensive
thought he
game
would.
does
So
not
I'd say
exist.
overrated, sure.
So our guy Turbo showed up on that list. He was the only Blazer in that category.
Brandon Pajemski made the list.
I mean, he is kind of.
Why
a bitch.
is 2.5% of the league even view him as overrated? He's just Brandon Pajemski.
he's rated properly.
He's just a Pajemski.
When was the last time you thought about Brandon Pajemski?
Like, why did somebody seriously write? Hey,
I hate that guy.
I need you to write down who do you think the most overrated player in the league
It
is?
was probably Draymond Green.
Brandon.
Dude, speaking of which, did I knock your headphones off on that one? Speaking of which,
Pajemski being written by Draymond is a great poll.
I've now been pulled into this Austin Rivers Draymond Green beef. It's
Did
in
you
my
see
algorithm.
that video? I almost pulled the audio.
So I've seen the video. I didn't realize where it all started, and then the
Right.
responses that have come, and now the back and forth that have happened. Draymond Green arguing that Steve Kerr was a hindrance to his career and complaining about not having an offensive play called for him for 10 years
it's a pretty wild
is
take.
one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a human being say in my entire life. Like, I don't even like Austin Rivers, although I did earn respect for him out of that playoff series when everybody got hurt.
I'll say
and
that
he was balling out. Like,
that point, I've turned on him.
he went from like a Nepo baby of like, get this bitch out of the NBA to, you know what, dude? You played your ass off, man. Good for you.
So his video, we didn't pull the audio. We should have. He basically goes at Draymond because Draymond goes at him.
Yes.
And I'll give him credit. He pulled up some very valid things. He said, I was the #1 ranked player in high school. And then he points to the Player of the Year award.
Yes.
And then he goes, I was first team all ACC. I was ACC freshman of the year.
Yes.
You were what in college? I was a one and done.
I was one and done. He played 3 years in college.
Yeah, and so he goes, look, career, I'll give it to you. You have
Yes.
a better career. I'll give you that. But he's so right to point out the ridiculous comment of Steve Kerr held
Hindering?
him back.
Holding you back?
He then goes into the Draymond. You're a backpack, man.
Nobody guards you.
Nobody guards you. You get wide open shots every game. What are you talking about?
One of the dumbest, like, Draymond's a smart basketball mind. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth.
Terrible take.
Sums up who Draymond Green is, though, right? Finishing up the survey, by the way, which current coach, aside from your own, do you find most impressive? Joel Mazzulla ran away with this.
He's a psycho. I get it.
He is, dude. I'd love to have him as a coach. Daignault, number 2.
Somebody threw out at me when Boston got eliminated. He goes, if there was ever a coach to get hired in Portland that would absolutely demand to live in the apartment inside the Moda Center, it's definitely Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, I'm not leaving this place.
And I responded with, I will one-up it. Joe Mazzulla not only lives in that apartment, Joe Mazzulla stands in front of the window that we can all see, butt-ass naked, staring off into the court with 1 cup of coffee.
Good morning.
It's time to grind.
Going over my rotations.
It's time to watch the town and grind.
What are we going to do? Last one on this list, by the way. Which current coach, aside from your own, do you find least impressive? Now, this is a funny one for me because I can't even tell you who this guy coaches. Brian Keefe.
Brian Keefe made the list. Doug Christie made the list.
Hold on.
Okay.
Brandon, do you know who Brian Keefe is the head coach of?
I do not.
Can I don't say this? I don't want you to give the answer. Can people text in where Brian Keefe is the head coach?
Without Googling. Don't cheat here.
503-864-6326. Do you know who Brian Keefe coaches? I'm going to leave it at that. We'll start the final hour with the answers to that question. By the way, Doc Rivers and Doug Christie showed up at the
Did
top
you know?
3. I have no idea. I still don't know. I haven't Googled it. I have no idea.
When you find out, you'll go, that tracks.
Okay, sounds about right. Let's end with some fun with audio here. This is always great. So the Fire play their first regular season game. It's a big weekend, man. The support's going to be awesome. The crowd at the preseason home game was insane.
Yeah.
Our guy Nick Krupke's killing it, dude.
On the Rose City
exciting
Sports
stuff,
Net.
man. So they asked a bunch of different Fire players. We have some unique words and phrasing and pronunciations around the area, and they asked different Fire players to pronounce things around Oregon and Portland, and it's pretty funny.
Couch Street. Couch Street. I knew it. Willamette Valley. Willamette.
Let me say a little bit Frenchy. Willamette Valley. It was close.
Yeah.
Yachts.
Yechets. I was like, Yechets. That doesn't even sound good. Aloha.
You're the first person to get that one correct then.
Ditches River.
Deschutes River.
That's
I'm a
good guess.
local at this point.
Multnomah Falls.
Yes!
Multnomah Falls hard.
No. Multnomah Falls.
Outthinking the room.
That's 3.
3 me.
I will say, the Willamette, I get. I get why people screw it up.
I understand that one.
Yahats, I totally get. I understand why people get that wrong.
I get it.
Cooch, totally get it.
Coach, understand.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So some of these I don't
Multnomah
really...
Falls is the only one I'm like, really?
That's the one, yeah.
Deschutes, I can see Deschutes being challenging.
Yeah.
You know.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I always said aloha.
Yeah, she said that was right saying aloha.
Yeah.
Is it ha or huh?
I mean, I literally lived there.
You did.
Aloha. Everybody's like, you're in Beaverton or Aloha? And I'd be like, I live in
I'm
Aloha.
not even from here.
Yeah, if it's a phonetically spelled, I feel like it's an H-U. If we're hooked on phonics spelling it, aloha.
Am I wrong?
Aloha.
I mean, look at me. I'm playing the game. I've lived here my
We're
whole
not
life.
saying hello, goodbye. It's not aloha. We're not in Hawaii.
I've always been on the idea that it's Aloha.
Okay. Well, we'll start the final hour there. Is it aloha or aloha? And do you know who Brian Keefe is the head coach of? We'll play for that fun game to start the final hour. Statter story around the corner as well. And we'll get to that at it'll be about 9:27-ish, 9:30-ish. Statter story coming up. And the good playoff series continue in the NBA tonight. It's a loaded final hour on a Wednesday next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the top seeds in the NBA playoffs took care of business last night to start their conference semifinals. The Thunder handled the Lakers 108-90 in Game 1. Chet Holmgren led the way for OKC with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. LeBron James, 27 points and 6 assists in the loss. Over in Detroit, the Pistons beat the Cavaliers 111-101 to take Game 1, their first playoff series lead since 2008. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 7 assists. Jalen Duren with a double-double, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2 for both of those series are tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche rolled through the Wild in Game 2, 5-2. Colorado still undefeated in the postseason now with a 2-0 series lead. And in MLB news, Astros infielder Carlos Correa suffered a torn tendon in his left ankle and will undergo season-ending surgery. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your hump days are off to a good start. Everybody get their hump on today.
I don't think I feel dumber than when my headphones come off mid-segment.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
It can happen, like, if we weren't on YouTube, I wouldn't care as much,
No.
but it makes me look like an absolute buffoon on YouTube.
People saying, can we get Thomas Tyner on the line for Aloha? And unanimously supporting of Aloha.
The emphasis on the ha.
Aloha.
I've always said Aloha. I live in Aloha.
Maybe I'm just saying it too slow. I think that's
You're
what people
really
are saying.
putting an emphasis on the H part, whether it's
Sure,
ha
I'm trying.
or
I'm making sure people don't go ha.
I just say Aloha.
You
It's
got to end with
almost
a
a silent
You got to go
situation.
down. You got to go down with the It's not up with the Does that make sense?
I lived there. I don't know what to tell you.
By the way,
I used to go to high school games at Aloha High School because Tyner was there. They'd be like, hey, welcome to Aloha High School. And I'm like,
37
okay.
touchdowns in one game, I heard. Pretty good player.
He's pretty good football
Pretty
player.
good player.
Yeah.
One of the rare duck beeves. One of the rare, him, Atticus Sappington.
All-time top 5 duck beeves.
It's him, Atticus Sappington.
Yeah.
We have a guy on defense, and I can't remember his name on top of my head, who I think registered for you guys for a year and then transferred in.
You have a current guy.
I can't remember his name.
Yep.
Is he the only one that's ever gone Oregon to Oregon State?
Yes, it usually goes the opposite.
Usually I get the other way makes more
right?
sense.
Because if you're
yeah.
pretty good at Oregon State, Oregon might poach you and
Hey,
take
we
you
need a
away.
kicker.
Right.
Come win us an Iowa game,
We
buddy.
need to win at Iowa.
Come on down.
Yeah, we need an Atticus Sappington here. A duck beef. A platypus award.
Not a lot of platypi
Top
out there,
5
man.
platypi.
That's there. I only got 3. Maybe there's more names than that I can't think of. Mike Doc Parker, technically a platypi.
That's a platypi.
He's number 1. If we're being honest, number 1 on the big board.
Mike Barrett.
Yeah, Mike Barrett's a
He
bit of a
grew up
platypi.
in Albany.
Yeah, he's a Beaver fan, but he worked for Oregon doing sidelines and stuff.
Yep, and he's famously
Broadcast.
in the pick 6. Kenny Wheaton's going to score jumping off the ground.
One of the most famous plays in Oregon football history.
I mean, Autzen.
Autzen
Your
himself.
entire stadium is named
Autzen.
after a beef.
Autzen himself.
Autzen's got to be a
That
top
old
5 platypi.
Bastard Austin.
So let's go. Mike Doc Parker.
Okay, 1. Autzen's got to be 2 then.
Autzen's got to be 2.
Then we go Barrett probably.
You going Barrett?
I think I would go Barrett over Atticus Sappington.
He won you a game at Iowa.
He did. It was a moment. It was a nice moment.
What's Mike Barrett's best thing he did at Oregon?
He's in the pick. Kenny Wheaton's gonna score.
There's 50,000 people in that
He's
pick,
there
brother.
yelling on the sideline that he scored. He
Get
confirmed
outta
it
here.
from the sideline on the field. That did you know Kenny Wheaton scored?
I don't know if I have him in my top 5.
Okay, he's not your top 5.
Well, how long was he the radio guy for the sidelines?
That I don't know. I
Couldn't
don't
have been
know.
that long.
I don't know the answer to that. Well, I'll have to get Barrett on the line. And
I think
figure
I go
that one out.
Sappington, Tyner,
Did Tyner do anything for you guys?
Mike Kavanaugh.
Mike Kavanaugh's another good one.
Kavanaugh's
Dude,
a
he's
great
just
one.
flip-flopping every other year.
He's like, who needs an offensive line assistant?
I don't
or
feel like
lead
moving.
coach?
I'm not leaving
I
the
just want to live in Junction City.
for the rest of my life.
Mike Kavanaugh is just going to stay in Junction City forever.
That is a great poll. He's got to be top
So
3 on
Cav,
the list.
Sappington,
Yeah.
Mike Doc Parker, Autzen, and what was our first one?
Well, I thought Doc was number 1, wasn't he?
Damn it.
Who else are we missing? Oh, the defensive player whose name I can't
No,
remember.
we're not putting that guy in our top
Hog him up,
5.
Sikorsky. That's good right
Can't
there.
even name him. He can't be in the
Get
top
out of
5.
here. Hey, do me a favor. Tighten up.
Yeah.
He's back, baby. Did Thomas Tyner do anything
At Oregon State?
At Oregon State?
Not much.
Let's see.
He did not do much. You don't have to look it up. I'm telling you.
2 years at Oregon, he only had 64 carries, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
That was. He's one of the best high school players I've ever seen with my eyes. While also, I remember in real time saying, "Boy, those offensive line holes are pretty good for a kid who's fast."
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't overlook that part of it. And
He's all-time great Oregon high school football player. There's no doubt
he's
about
an all-time
that. He will
legend
be
in
in
high
that
school.
category for a long time. We jokingly asked, do you know who Brian Keefe is the head coach of in the NBA?
Have you figured it out yet?
I'm not going to Google it.
Okay, Brandon, did you Google it or do you got to guess?
Nope, I'm
just going to guess.
honest.
I'm trying to think of teams who I have no clue who the head coach is of. Like, I can't tell you who the head coach of the Wizards is.
Yeah.
Jazz, I have no idea. I don't know who the head coach of the Nets is.
You don't know the Jazz one? He's gotten like 4 extensions during the tanking. It's been bizarre. He's a younger coach. Everybody tells me he's amazing. His team's never good.
I can't tell you.
But every NBA insider, largely because he probably leaks crap to them,
The Cokehead
tells
was
me
the
how
last
amazing
Utah
he is.
coach I could tell you.
Oh, really?
That's
Quinn Snyder?
that's the last one that I remember. So we got Nets were guessed, Wizards were guessed, Utah was guessed.
Yep.
Somebody guessed Pelicans.
Yep.
Somebody just said, "Who the hell is Brian Keefe?" Never heard of him before. And another Nets guess. Do we care to? Will you please?
I will tell you who he is.
Help us out here.
What job does a guy named Brian Keefe have as a career to you? Because I think the weed shop one's a pretty good poll.
Weed shop's pretty good. Yeah, I could see him working at an enterprise rent-a-car. They give you the tools. Hey, Brian here. You need a mid-size? What are you looking for? You need a minivan?
They call me Big Keefe.
They call me the Big Kiefer around here.
I'm Big Keefe.
I've been running this show for years.
As somebody who worked at Enterprise in
Step
college.
on into Kiefer's office, all right?
That's a valid poll by
Let Daddy
you.
Kiefer help you out here, all right?
Brian Keefe is the head coach of the Washington Wizards.
Washington, it had to be one of those teams.
And
Tanking
he-
teams. This was year one for him?
I'm
assuming?
That's a great. I don't know.
You don't know?
I
Okay.
think so.
You knew, though, who Brian Keefe was the head coach of?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
really stupid why I knew that.
Okay. I was just, we're just checking math here. Brian Keefe, head coach of the Washington Wizards. He
No.
showed up on the. It's not his first year, or he's not the head coach of the Wizards. Tell me he's not the head coach of the Wizards.
He's the head coach of the Wizards.
God, that would have been really funny.
It's his 3rd season.
It's his 3rd year. He's been there for 3 years.
I think he took over for who was the coach before Brian Keefe in Washington? Was it Eddie Jordan?
I don't know.
Was it Don Nelson
This is
Jr.?
the last time I've watched a Wizards game, man.
I'm not kidding. Can you name the last head coach of the Wizards?
No, I have no idea.
Because he took over in 23-24. He was 8-31.
Holy hell. So he was the interim guy, and they just were like, yeah, whatever, give Keefe
They
the
rolled
job.
it over because he was fine, I guess, at 8-31.
Also, you're tanking. Why the hell are you paying for an NBA
the
head
next
coach
year
if
he
you're
was
tanking?
18-64.
Is the Kiefer going to survive the offseason? This is one of my bigger now offseason storylines. Will he be back for another run? They got Anthony Davis and Trae Young now. They're ready to win.
I think the bigger question is he going to beat Chauncey's winning percentage at this point?
Who's got a lower? Well, if it was the Blazers organization, we give him an extension.
By
That's
the
how
way,
we operate.
do you know who the head coach was? It was Wes Unseld Jr.
That was the last coach, huh?
Do you know who was coach before that?
Never would have guessed it.
Scotty Brooks.
Scotty Brooks.
Scotty Brooks.
Lead assistant under old Chance for a while.
Yeah.
He was our shadow head coach.
I think he's with the Lakers now. I see him
he?
during timeouts with Redick once in a while.
Is that Dirt and Sprague, the true platypus boys? You're right.
Yeah.
You're damn right. We
The
are.
GM says that Keefe will return as the 26-27 head coach next
Well, I mean, when your winning percentage is
That's what we do.
212, you got to keep rolling it back.
He's almost to Chance territory.
Good Lord.
He's encroaching on that number. I got some random oddities to get to a little bit later on in the show. We'll get to status story here in a moment.
He looks like somebody at the gym that tells you your protein intake needs to be increased.
Got a protein bar you taking over
He
there.
looks like the guy at the
You on
gym
your creatine? Taking a creatine?
that is flirting beyond the comfortable line with his personal trainer because he's absolutely miserable at home.
He's wearing gloves to work out with. Get a callus on
With
your hand.
with the
no
finger
fingers,
sleeves?
fingers out gloves.
Look at him. Have you Google imaged him?
No, I haven't looked him up yet.
Google image him. He looks like somebody wearing like naked gloves, like where the fingers are out the...
He absolutely does, dude. He 100% fits that profile.
He looks like somebody with no muscle definition that tells you your form is incorrect.
One of the skinny people with a pot belly, too. Like, how does that body shape work? Everything else, like, if you just took your belly out, you're in perfectly good shape. But then you look at your belly, and how does that... I don't compute.
He has that vibe.
How do you design that kind of body,
Poor
man?
Brian Keefe. We're just out here bagging him in Portland.
Torching the Kiefer, man. Lots to get to in the final hour. Status story coming up in a little bit. I do, though, want to get to and allow the proper allotted time.
Yeah.
Because I jokingly said it, and I don't mean this to be tongue-in-cheek, because it's serious. These are the only series that I care about, if I'm being honest, in the second round. Not that I'm not going to watch. I had the Pistons-Cavs game on last night in the second half, and it was compelling. Like Cleveland made a little bit of a comeback. They were down by double digits, and they sniffed around a bit. Detroit ends up pulling it out. I had the entire Laker-Thunder game on. It's an appreciating LeBron kind of thing, and the Lakers held tough. They just were really bad offensively in the second half, and not having Luka kills them. These are the two, though, these are all right, what time's the game start? What time do I need to be in front of the TV? Yeah. All right, 4 o'clock, okay, I want to watch that. 6:30, okay, I want to watch that. We also have, I think we're getting rid of the double dip of the game in terms of simultaneously playing them. So you got one after the other tonight. But I'm excited, man, and I don't really know what to expect. Like, I went into Philly and New York thinking this is going to be the best series of the second round, and I don't want to back off that take after one game. Mm-hmm. They're a 7.5-point dog again tonight, so you don't have the Game 7 hangover argument in their back pocket anymore. And then in Minnesota and San Antonio, dude, like, in terms of what to expect the rest of the way, I think any thought I have or any feeling I have on that series is out the window. Minnesota wins game 1. I love some of the stuff they did. I think they can get even more from Anthony Edwards as he comes back from the injury. And will the youth questions linger for San Antonio? Like, I'm psyched for these matchups tonight. I think both these series are still going to be good, and it's going to be a really fun night of basketball in my mind.
The Sixers-Knicks result, I mean, look, it can get out of hand in the NBA when you're not playing well.
The Knicks have had 3 straight games where they've held a 30-point lead in the playoffs. I think they're the first team in NBA history to do that.
They are the runaway favorite to win the East. If you were to bet anybody else, you're doing it just simply out of odds and value. You're not doing it out of straight confidence.
That's why I did Philly.
The Knicks should be in the NBA playoffs. Timothé Chalamet.
Finals.
Or finals, yeah. Yes. Timothé Chalamet and Ben Stiller have to have their calendar blocked out at this point for when the home finals games would be. That being said, I don't know if game 1 is truly going to be representative of what the series is, whereas I think tonight, what's the spread? Is it 7.5?
7.5 for tonight for game 2. Same identical as game 1. I took the Sixers plus 7.5, and that certainly did not pan out for me.
I hammer the Sixers tonight because much like the Atlanta series, I just feel like the Knicks have these, as much as they can do what they did in game 1, they can be really stupid and go cold and have nothing happen for them in the fourth quarter. And they leave the door open. So because of that, and because it becomes so ball dominant with Jalen if their offense isn't humming.
And he was so good in game 1.
Exactly. I would take the Sixers out of just keeping that closer. They're not... That turn from game 7 emotionally, I really thought that was a big deal. It's a mental enough challenge to go through a game 7 on the road, by the way.
Saturday night, jump on a bird, fly straight to New York, Monday night, game 1.
And it's not a far travel. It's just more the turn from what you were doing to where you're going. And so I think game 2 now, they're a little more settled. And if the Knicks end up being a wagon in game 2 and blowing it out, then all of this is a moot point. But
yeah, if they win big tonight, I think I'm not going to let my opinion on the series go yet. If they win similarly in game 2 that they did game 1,
I'm changing it.
I think hope's gone.
This is a 5-game series at best. But I'll allow, the Maxies, the edge comes, kind of see what Embiid is, all of that stuff to play out and be a game 2. And maybe the Knicks have a wonky second half, fourth quarter, second quarter, whatever it ends up being, where their offense completely disappears. The Garden gets uneasy. Yeah. And, oh, my God, Maxi's hit a big step-back shot.
And then you go to the nightcap in San Antonio where you get Wembanyama, just a really bad offensive game, some frustrations out of the game for people on Minnesota side, by the way, coming out saying, man, it felt like a lot of those playoff record blocks were sure goaltendings or fouls. Are we going to start calling these? Their offense bogged down late in the game. It was a back-and-forth great one, but Minnesota, You imagine if they can only get stronger as the series goes on, because one, they might get healthier. They might get some other players back. Anthony Edwards coming off the bench, what did he play, 28 minutes? So less than 30 minutes in game one. So does he feel a little bit better maybe going into game two, where he can take on a bigger role throughout the course of the game? And when you win game one and you flip that pressure, man, it's like you're going into tonight and all the heat is on San Antonio. I thought our buddy Gundy brought up a great point the other day, where he picked Minnesota to win the series, and one of the reasons he picked Minnesota to win the series was because he feels like the perceived eventual matchups never happen in the NBA.
It almost never goes the way. Like, think about the LeBron-Kobe campaign.
Oh, it's going to be a finals. It's going to have to be. LeBron-Kobe's going to be a finals.
LeBron-Kobe, finally, what we want. Rodgers-Brady.
Yes,
I mean,
never happened.
Sports is tough with the projecting of who we think's going to be there.
And they thought, or we all thought, I should say, oh, man, Thunder and when the Spurs looked the way they did against us, the Thunder, I mean, it's Phoenix, whatever,
right,
but they're the defending champs. Like, it's going to be a great conference finals, and here comes Minnesota stealing game one. Like, it's a unique spot for that young team to find themselves in, blowing, maybe not the right word, but losing game one at home.
Yeah.
And now you're going in, it's like, dude, you fall down 2-0 and you got to go back to Minnesota? They're going to make you howl back there.
Well,
so a lot of pressure on them tonight.
I'll give a lot of credit to Gundy for saying it, but I'm going to raise my hand here on the show. I thought this was the best series.
You did, going in.
Now, it's only a game one. We'll see what game two gives us. If Wemby's going to go for 30 points and be a little more in control offensively and set the tone on that end, I'll be curious to see how the refs officiate his blocks goaltends, because he had 12 blocks. That's stellar from a stat point. Half of them were goaltends.
Finch was like, dude, you take 4 of those away, that's 8 points, and we win the game by double digits.
Well, and what does that feel like, right? Like,
yeah.
I think Fox is going to play better, and we don't know what's going to happen with the Somu. So if he gets it to go, dude, Minnesota's live on the money line. Not points, money line. Because this is the element of the playoffs we had talked about going into it. Now, we wondered if it would happen against us in Portland.
It did not.
And it did not. The age thing, the deeper you go, and also the more physical it's getting, right? SGA, we talked about earlier, he's flopping and flailing like a fish. He's not getting all those calls now.
No.
You can be more physical with Wemby, and they are. They're being incredibly physical with him. Wear and tear, wear him down. He's playing heavier minutes. That's going to be a tough thing for him to combat. I'll be curious to see if their point guard gives it a go. If he's good, I put this live Timberwolf money line. But I think this is going to be a series. I thought it'd be a good series.
Yeah, go long.
Game one produced. You give me anything close to what game one was here in game two, and I'm super stoked.
The only thing we're missing now is the double dip of good games. That's what we need tonight, because Philly, New York, game one sucked. And then game one, Minnesota, San Antonio, awesome. Now we need the double dip to chip. Give me 2 good games tonight. I'm psyched.
There's
man.
nothing worse in any sport than when you just have dud big games.
Oh, it sucks.
Like the game sevens over the weekend were terrible.
It was horrible. Saturday night's game was fun. Boston Philly was a fun game, but the 2 on Sunday were those games were terrible. I'm with you there. I'm excited for both of them. I love coming up with a bet on the show. So yesterday we gave you the over of Avs and Wild.
Yeah, and it hit the end.
4.4 seconds left, empty net goal. Are we barking tonight?
I'm barking.
Now, are we barking extreme, or are we doing a?
Give me a second here.
Are we going +7.5, +9.5, or are we going money line? What's a money line parlay?
I'll tell you right now. So, NBA playoffs.
Sixers and T-Wolves dubs.
If you go moneyline Sixers, moneyline Wolves, it's +1294. I'm going to go +7.5 with the Sixers and moneyline Wolves, and that's +700.
Those are solid odds, too.
I think Minnesota can do it, man. I'll say this, too. I think people, basketball fans, sports fans who are just now caring about basketball because nothing else going on.
Hey, did you know the NBA started?
Hey, there you go. It's after Christmas. What I think is the takeaway is interesting is it's fascinating to watch people hate Wemby.
Yeah.
He had some comments. He's like, I need to be better. And he's like, well, our offensive playmakers weren't shooting the ball well. He's putting himself in this, but we're taking little snippets.
Feels good. Let the hate flow through you.
And it's like, dude, you're 7'6". You should be dominating.
Stop
Why
complaining.
are you scoring 11 points? Stop
Thank
complaining.
You. Amen, online trolls.
I'll add this. I do think people are right. Minnesota's kind of a perfect team to root for.
They are.
They talk S and back it up.
They do.
They play incredible team defense. They've got a certified bucket-getting superstar who talks so much crap in the moment in your face in Anthony Edwards. Their environment's hostile and loud. And
yes, it is.
they're kind of a perfect team to root for in the playoffs.
I love a team that can run their mouth and back it up. That's the fun part, and they can do it, man.
It's great.
So tonight should be a lot of fun. I don't know about money lines, but I'm definitely taking the points with both dogs. We'll see if my balls get a little bit bigger by the end of the show.
If you go that route, you're plus 260.
Okay, I'll take that.
Still over 2-1.
I'll take that. By the way, people texting in Rich Brooks, an assistant at Oregon State before becoming the head coach at Oregon.
Great poll.
Top 5 platypi.
Platypi.
Got to go on the list.
So Kavanaugh, Rich Brooks.
Yes, Doc.
Here we go, Doc.
We got some candidates
Watson.
here. Atticus himself. Let's get to stat or story, though. You guys got your numbers ready to rock and roll. We'll do that coming up next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, time for a update. First on the Fan. We talked yesterday about that uncomfortable press conference in Toronto with the Maple Leafs, hiring John Chaika as their new GM. Well, yesterday,
what a day for
yesterday in the NHL draft lottery, the Leafs had the 5th best odds and an 8.5% chance they win the number 1 pick in the draft. So
Gavin McKenna, come on down.
It'll be the third time in franchise history they select that. Austin Matthews was the last time in 2016. And then Gavin McKenna is expected to be the top pick.
Fun fact about the Maple Leafs, they've had more number 1 pick lottery luck in the last 10 years than they have playoff series wins.
Exactly.
That's not a good thing, I think, for Toronto
For NBA fans to look at that, that's kind of a like the Luka Doncic thing leading to the number 1 pick. There's a lot of that going on. Though, really, now they get seriously, Toronto.
I appreciate listeners that help participate in a update. Shout out you guys out there. Listener Sean gave me this one. Sloths poop only once a week.
Poor bastards.
And in doing so, they lose 1/3 of their weight. My wife saw this and also asked, yeah, but how long does it take them to do it? And I said, it might take a full week.
It could.
So that's why they only go once a week.
Just to process it, man. They move a little slow. God, having a sloth as a pet would be really cool. I'm going to stick in the hockey theme. Last night's game was fine, not great. I'm excited about the matchups tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far has delivered an average of 1.2 million viewers per game in the United States. That is up 68% from round 1 to last year's Stanley Cup playoffs.
Hey-o.
It is the highest average viewership for a Stanley Cup playoff opening round on record in U.S. history.
Go sports.
Let's do that hockey. Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
All right, that's Brandon, and Andy from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
All right, folks, Statter Story time. A new look Statter Story. Hello, everybody.
It's a new look?
Well, it's slightly later in the hour than it usually is.
Okay.
You know, things are changing and evolving around here. Let's get to it, though. Statter Story time. Brandon, do we have a Statter Story ready to go? Oh, he's getting the music. He's down. He's ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start this week.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right,
You
just go ahead.
it.
You know, let me Jesus take the wheel. You got it, buddy.
It's all you, man.
I'll be Jesus here.
All right.
Your number, ladies and gentlemen, is 14. 14. Is it? Now, bear with me on the stats. A little long-winded.
Oh, God. Of course.
Remember our dominatrix guy from J.P. Morgan who ended up being the liar and it didn't happen?
There's been some follow-ups to this, so I'm not...
Okay.
Okay.
Is it the number of weeks he took off lying about the death of his father to his company? Because that also happened.
14 weeks?
Or...
Wow.
Is it the number of games below 500 that USC is against ranked teams in the college football playoff era? For those wondering, that since 2014, so the last 12 years, that's when the CFP era began. Is it the number of weeks off or the number of games below 500 against ranked teams in the last 12 years?
I saw a deposition update on this that, like, he maintains that she took a taxi and she wanted him to get in with her and it was raining outside and she was talking about how...
Say it. How what?
Well, wet outside.
It's very wet. It's raining outside, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still doubling down? He's still going down that hole?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, there's just developments going on with it. I'm going to go stat.
You're going to go stat?
Stat.
Okay. Brandon?
Also going stat.
Double stat? Well, I got to get on the right page here. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yes.
You are both.
Yes.
Let me double ding you.
There we go.
Yeah.
USC, this is a fun graphic to look at. Was put out. So it's against powerful schools' records against ranked opponents in the CFP era. So since 2014, some funny oddities in here. Bama, not shockingly, 62-17 in that era against ranked teams. Ohio State 2 on the list, 45-14. Then it's Georgia 46-22. Oregon came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. They're 29-24.
Okay.
Washington not far behind, 24-22. USC 19-33 in that time. The bottom two are going to make you chuckle. Rutgers has not beaten a ranked team. They are 0-37 since 2014 against ranked opponents. Wow. And our wonderful friends out in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, no.
Are number 2 on the list.
No.
They are 2-34.
Wow.
Against ranked teams since 2014.
Now, is one of those against your team?
Yes.
It had to have been, right?
I think they were both
ranked.
Mike Riley wins, and Oregon was definitely ranked when that game. It was ranked when the game happened, not at the end of the year.
The coach they've hated debatably the most is Mike Riley.
He's the only one with a win over a ranked team. Frost had 0 and Matt Rule has 0 so far.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was funny. It's a graphic you could go look through. It's a funny time. Yeah, so this guy faked another layer of the story. It came out that he lied about the death of his father to the company because he wanted time off. He wanted bereavement leave. And he ended up taking 3 months off, so 12 weeks, and used that time to prepare his bombshell lawsuit against the gal, his employer, the Post had learned. So this story circulated, and the Post called, the New York Post called the guy's dad. It was like, hey, are you alive? And he was like, yeah. What's up? And they're like, do you know your son lied? And he was like, oh, no, I didn't know anything about that. He's my son, though. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
He's alive. He
He's
had no
a
idea.
good guy.
Lying about your father's death to get 12 weeks off of work. Hell of a time.
I'll go next. I'll
Cool.
save the best Brandon for last.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Your number is 2-4.
2-4.
2 and 4.
2 and 4.
Okay.
2.4, 2-4.
Well,
And
is
4, yeah.
it
2,4.
is it the age in which Ted Turner, R.I.P., took over for his father's company, Turner Outdoor Advertising? Or is it
24
the
young.
ERA of former Brave great and now current Yankee stud, Max Fried, 2.4?
I haven't seen Max Fried pitch. I have no idea.
He's had a phenomenal season. Jake loves
take
to
your
like
word for
throw it in my face as if we don't have the best record in baseball.
Yeah, you can't throw that one in your face.
Also, like, yeah,
You're better right now.
He had been hurt. He got hurt a lot as a Brave. I'm all right. Good for him.
I'm going to go, like, what are the odds of having an exact 2.4 ERA? 2.40. That maybe this is a bad guess for that reason, that's why it's a good. I'm going to go 24, Ted Turner.
Fair. I'll let you do your guess. I just counter. Give me an example of an ERA.
2.04.
There you go. 2.19.
Yeah.
Why is 2.40 far-fetched?
It seems very on the dot.
Oh, okay.
Very on the dot.
Okay. I'm
I'm looking up his stats. 1.96.
Yeah.
Not 1.90.
Right. Yeah. They're going to show it right here.
Those days are really
5.33.
behind right now.
Last 6 career games against Cleveland, 5.33.
But that's a specific ERA against one team.
I just say it.
Okay, all right.
I will go stat.
Okay, you're going to go stat? So it's a
I go story.
story? All right. Your logic's wrong, but you're right. I hate that about you. Max Fried has a 2.39 ERA.
It's my point. It's what are the odds? 2.40.
Round up.
Look up ERAs right now and how many are on a.
There's
on
two
the dot.
pitchers. Parker Messick for Cleveland is a 2.4 ERA, and
Okay.
Shota Imananama.
So there's only 2.
How do you say this guy's name?
I don't know.
You're good at these.
The Cub guy?
Yeah, the other Brandon's better at these.
Is it the Cub player?
Yeah,
the Cub
Shota.
pitcher? Yeah, I don't know.
Am I saying that name?
Bob in the YouTube chat, we need your help. Type it out for us slow. You're a Cubs fan.
Imanaga?
Yeah,
Sure.
Imanaga. Yep.
Imanaga?
Yeah,
Both have 2.4 ERAs.
very rare.
We got Christopher Sanchez, 2.42.
2. There's a 2 in there.
I'm just saying. All right. You are right, though.
24 years old, huh?
Ted Turner was 24 years old when he took over his father's billboard company, Turner Outdoor Advertising, after his father died by suicide. Very sad story. He moved to Georgia in the 1960s to manage a southern branch of his father's business. He then turned that and became a media mogul, owning sports franchises in Atlanta like the Braves and the Hawks. He founded TNT, TBS, Turner Classic Movies, one of the underrated channels, I think,
Yes,
in cable
no
history.
doubt.
And Cartoon Network, another underrated channel. especially for people our
I
age.
know he did the Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Started all in 1996, and then he sold CNN to Time Warner Inc., sold the Bravos in early 2000. He also created a TV series that we need to bring back because we have the dumbest people maybe to ever exist, Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Wind, water.
I went to the CNN headquarters when I was in Atlanta.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
It was on accident. I didn't mean to. I was like wandering around a neighborhood and like, hey, that's the CNN. But when you're like a block away and you see the giant letters, you're like, I might as well walk over there and see it.
He also co-founded the Nuclear Threat Initiative, which focused on reducing nuclear threats worldwide.
Oh, okay.
And brought us one of our favorite sports shows maybe to ever exist, Inside the NBA.
Yes. Round of applause.
R.I.P. Ted Turner, man.
Hell of a life.
May not
Ted
have been
Turner.
a perfect person.
deal.
No, nobody is.
Nobody is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Captain Planet. Oh, what a moment in time. I loved that
That's
show.
a throwback name right there. I haven't heard of that show in a long time. All right, what do we got, Brandon?
All right, your number is 1,013.
1,013.
Is it the combined total points of the top 5 leading scorers in these NBA playoffs so far? Or is it the highest priced ticket on Ticketmaster for the Portland Fire season opener on Saturday?
No way. There's no way it's $1,013.
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, how do you even calculate top 5 scorers? Who's played the most games? 1,000?
That stat's breaking my brain.
Give me
to
a
think
story.
about.
Give me
I'm
a
going
story.
Stat.
I'm going to go story.
Stat.
Courtside seat.
Okay.
Center court, $1,000.
So we got stat and we got story.
Yes.
All right. Hold on.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, 1,013 is the combined total points of Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Paolo Banchero
How about that?
in the NBA playoffs right now. The highest priced ticket on Ticketmaster for the Portland Fire season opener on Saturday. Remember, Ashanti's performing at halftime, so the
Yes.
price might go up a little bit because of it.
It's a game
They're
and a
also
concert.
playing Chicago.
Right. Is $1,662.85.
Wow.
And the seats are like right behind the scores table.
Oh.
So basically floor seats.
Yes.
So you're getting
Wait, is it at the scores table? Because there's a couple seats
like
you
right
can sit
behind
on
it.
the scores
right
table.
I think it's either at it or right behind it, but it's literally like
I've
right on the
always
floor.
wanted to
Me
sit
too.
the scores table
I've
seats.
always wanted to sit
Having
in
like
those
a little
seats.
table, you can put your food down, not have to worry about somebody kicking your
Well,
drink
there's
over.
like 2 to 4 seats that are there during
Yes.
Blazer games.
Yes.
And my brother-in-law and I always talk about going to that.
Yeah,
With
pick the
those
worst
seats.
team of the year and buy the ticket to the game.
How about that?
When our guy Kiefer's in town next year, maybe that's an affordable ticket.
Do you scream at Ashanti to get a photo if you're sitting there?
Sure.
Does
Yeah,
she
I mean,
stop
why
or
not?
she get the hell out of here?
Why not?
Does she stop and take a photo or get the hell out of here?
Michael Scott told me you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You're not wrong.
Gotta take your shots.
That'll be fun kickoff this weekend, man.
It's gonna be really cool.
It's great to have something in summer to go to the Moda Center for.
Without a doubt, man. My niece has gotten super into hoops, so I'm excited to take her to a game at some point. Like it's just fun. It's another event to have that's close by. I'm not super close to Hillsboro, so I don't make it out to a ton of Hobbs games. I try and stumble on our pickle friends from time to time, but it doesn't happen that often throughout the course of the summer. I'm with you, dude. It's going to be a lot of fun. There you go. Stat or story every Wednesday now, a little bit later, but still the same greatness that it always has been. Let's wrap up the show. Put a bow on things coming up next. Get you set for your night in sports. I have a fun random story of would you want to buy anything in this category. We'll close it up on a Wednesday next. 105.1 FM The Fan. So funny when you listen to the lyrics.
What the hell is on Joey's head? Why are my eyes so red?
Because your eye is a kite, man. Put down the weed. Couple games in the Stanley Cup playoffs and NBA playoffs. We'll get to that in a moment. How about this announcement a couple hours ago from Oregon State?
Yeah, Oregon State putting out some good news.
They have announced that the Wayne and Gladys Valley Foundation, what is that? I don't know. But they have a lot of money, and they have committed $24 million to the OSU Foundation to support revenue sharing for Oregon State student athletes.
Yeah.
And it's not just a gift, Wayne and Gladys. They're coming with a challenge.
Yes.
And that challenge is in order to lock all this money, we're not just giving it to you for free. You got to donate some money on your own.
It's a great gift. Also, that's a lot of money to raise.
$24 million is a lot of money. And they're saying you better raise $24 million over the next 3 years. And if you do, this is a $48 million bust or boom, if you want, to support student athletes. So they want to raise $8 million annually over the next 3 years. And if they could do that, they unlock the entire gift, and it becomes a $48 million war chest for them to work with. But just any announcement of anybody getting that level of donation when it's so desperately needed for athletics right now is a welcome sight for a place that has been known to financially struggle in those categories.
I mean, if they can secure $48 million in athlete funding,
that's like 2 years of a football roster.
For them, it's a lot more than that.
Yes,
but for Oregon and Ohio State, maybe it's one season, depending on how desperate they are.
That's like 1 year of a college football and college basketball roster at Ohio State.
I'd say that's, for Joyner and the football program, I would say that's like 5 years. Here you go. You got 5 years, build up your rosters. That's great. I hope they can get to $48 million. That'd be a huge win for OSU. And, hey, they won last night at Hillsborough Stadium.
They did. They beat the Pilots, I saw.
Somebody finally beat the Pilots in state.
It's about damn time we put the Pilots back in their place. Stop letting them win.
How about the Ducks and Bees struggling?
Jesus,
the Pilots.
God, calm down, Pilots. So that was really welcome news. On that note, by the way, there was a random interview that I saw making the rounds recently. Mark Cuban, who I did not know until, 8 months ago that he was an Indiana grad.
When you saw him on the field after they won the title, and you're like, really? Mark Cuban is an alum?
And I will give him credit for this, because if it would have been me in these shoes, I would have been crowing about this far sooner.
Why?
But he did an interview where he basically said they came to him for one reason and one reason only, and it was because they needed Fernando Mendoza.
He was the one thing they needed him
Fernando
to fund.
Mendoza was going to go elsewhere. He was a commodity in the market, and they basically said, we got this quarterback we really want. We don't have enough money for him. We need some help. And Mark Cuban was like, how much are you talking? They told him the amount, and he said, all right. And he donated the money that basically directly paid for Fernando Mendoza, and he went on to win the Heisman Trophy and be the number one pick in the draft.
I mean, can I ask a follow-up?
I was just surprised.
Why would you bark about it?
I would have been like, that's right, it's me. The entire season, if that was me.
If you're as rich as Mark Cuban, you need to have people know?
Maybe I don't, but if it's me in my shoes, If I paid for an Oregon player and that Oregon player helps them win their first national championship is the primary reason it happens, are you kidding me?
But the better thing to do is to wait till you win the national championship, then be like, yeah, I funded that guy.
Barking all year, baby. Barking all year.
You're barking at 3-0.
Coy Parrish, you're welcome.
Coy Parrish.
Brought that safety over. That's a gopher. Not anymore. Now he's a duck. You're welcome, Duck Nation. Send me your flowers.
They beat Oklahoma State 69-3. I paid for that kickoff.
That was all me.
That was me.
That was all me, baby.
I think they could have done it without your donation.
Probably. We'll get to the night slate here in a moment. I did see this. These kind of stories always make me chuckle. You see? So Nebraska's doing this where they announced they're doing a big stadium renovation, which, why wouldn't you spend your money on actually a winning roster instead of, I don't know, that's just weird for me. Your stadium seems fine on the outside. I digress. But one of the things they're going to do when they renovate their stadium, they have, I don't know if you remember this from our time there, they have urinal troughs that people pee into.
It's the most uncomfortable I've ever been as a grown-up.
Like you're just peeing into a bathtub.
I'd never seen that before.
No.
I'd never been in a situation where I'm looking another man in the eyes.
It's a wild
And
west.
our wangs are out and we're going.
Like, what is happening?
It was bizarre.
Very weird. They're selling the troughs, and you know that people are going to buy them.
Well, speaking of buying stuff,
you know they're going to buy them.
Would you rather buy the trough at an old Lincoln football stadium or spend 25 G's
That's what I was going to get to.
on 400 square feet of carpet?
So Boise State's redoing their turf field this offseason, and somebody paid $25,000 for 400 square feet of it. Now, follow us.
It's a donation, really, but yeah.
I have a hard time with square
it's a
feet of
bedroom.
like, how big of the chunk of the field are we talking?
Well, 400 square. It's a standard bedroom, so think of like a standard bedroom. And
Would that cover like the logo? Is that like the center field logo? Would
I
that
think
be
a little
about?
more than that.
Is that more than
A
the
little
logo?
more than that,
So I
yeah.
could get the logo. And if I'm paying $25,000, I want the midfield logo. And if you gave me that and I had Mark Cuban money, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Like if Otson put in new turf and I could buy the O.
Okay, of these three things, what would you rather buy?
From the middle of the field?
The trough at your football stadium?
No, thank you. There's nothing cool about that.
That is so disgusting.
It's just gross.
What do you need that for?
Serves no purpose. The turf you could use. You put that in your house, man cave, backyard.
Dude, if you're a
You put it
Boise
somewhere.
fan and you have a man cave and
That's
it's just
sick.
decked out in blue turf,
That's your rug or your carpet now? Are you kidding me?
that's pretty awesome.
That's badass.
Or the Robo-Duck outfit that got bought by a 20-year-old. Did you see that story?
A 20-year-old bought the Robo-Duck outfit?
He's like 26, but yeah.
How much did it cost?
I didn't see the price.
Okay.
I saw it on Oregon Live, and
They
I'm
had a
like,
story on it.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
And he bought it from some collector who had it for years, and he was from the Duck Athletic Fund, and he sold it to him.
There was another guy who recently, I can't remember the name of the company, but I saw it in the news where he bought a big blazer. He's like opening a basketball retail store of some kind.
No, it's already open.
It's okay, but he bought
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
basketball that used to be like a part of the Moda Center or something.
No, it used to be the
Where was it?
Blazers on hold on.
Blazers on Broadway? Is that
On
what it is?
Broadway,
Blazers on
yeah,
Broadway.
yeah.
And it was sitting in some guy's front yard in Estacada, and he found it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Like, how did we not buy that thing back and put it somewhere around the stadium?
So have you been to Back to the Basket?
I have not been to Back to the Basket.
Yeah, it's over in the Hawthorne district.
Okay.
I went there a couple of weeks ago. Cool store.
What are we? Is it like retro basketball gear? What are we selling?
Yeah, that's all it is. A bunch of retro posters or bobbleheads or shoes.
I'm in on that. That's
or
cool.
T-shirts that are like they had old school Blazer playoff T-shirts.
That's pretty cool.
They'd have new ones too because nobody wants to keep them. We
No,
complain
well,
about it, but we'd get rid of them in a minute.
That is true.
But that's the store that bought the Blazers on Broadway ball. So of those four options,
I think I would take the turf. Turf number one. It's going to be the most expensive.
could you imagine owning Robo-Duck outfit and just showing up on Halloween show and doing it?
That would be really.
You
funny.
don't tell me. You don't tell Swag.
I just bought it low key.
You just walk in with the Robo-Duck outfit.
I would do the show and
Hatch
not
out of
say
the egg.
anything. I wouldn't even say a word. Just let people react all day on YouTube, but radio audience wouldn't know.
Well, we still have to do that
In
a different way.
In a different way,
But
sure.
you coming onto the show in an egg on Halloween and bursting out of the egg into your Robo-Duck outfit, I could never top that. That'd be the greatest Halloween show ever.
It would be unbelievable. I'm trying to find how much the Robo-Duck sold for, because that would be really funny. Outside of the
I don't
show
think the
bit,
Oregonian article has
it
it.
didn't have the price. Maybe they didn't want to say.
Yeah.
Outside of the show bit, I just don't know what I would do with it. Like, it'd be a funny thing to have around the house. Do I have to buy a mannequin now from my man cave to put it in a mannequin? Like, Do I just leave it in a closet?
Let's do this.
Hang it?
Let's make our poll question of the day since we haven't done one yet.
Yes, that's a great idea. We'll put that up. What would you rather have, a piece of turf from your team?
Of these 4 items.
Yes, what's the coolest? So we'll throw it out. Neighborhood Restaurant Group brings you the fan poll question on X every day. Dinner tonight at one of their 5 locations. San Diego's, Big's Chicken, Reverend's Barbecue, 808 Hawaiian in Laurelhurst Market. We'll throw that up at Dirt and Sprague on Twitter. Tonight, I locked in my dog bet. I did a small...
I did $2 on money line bets.
That's what I did, and then I did larger on point spread.
Pays me $27.
So we're rooting for the T-Wolves, and we're rooting for the Sixers tonight. Enjoy the hockey. We get Game 1, second round, Canadian Sabres. Should be a lot of fun in Buffalo. And then, unfortunately, we have to see Anaheim's uniforms again on television, so that sucks. Good luck to your Braves today.
Thank you.
Hopefully they don't lose their first series of the year.
That would be devastating.
Because Mariner fans will not let you hear the end of it.
Will not, and they deserve that.
And they would. So we'll see how that plays out. If you missed it earlier today, Bobby Marks was awesome for about 20 minutes, talking Blazer off-season, the not likely chance of relocating, Tom Dundon's ownership, all of that. Go check it out, 1051thefan.com. Check it out on the YouTubes as well. We'll tweet it out here as soon as we're done. Thanks for being a part of our Wednesday, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm of Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM The Fan.